What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Death Eternal, and my co pilot today.
Hi, Evergreen Tree Cosplay, otherwise known as Laurel.
What's going on, girl? It's just us today. We have another one. We have Rob's Rules coming in, who is actually everything Star Wars. He actually has a Star Wars page that he's revamping that he took some time away from, and he'll explain more about that when he comes in. But man, it is so funny. Like it has been what I think it's been a whole week. I was in California. I know you know about it. We were just talking about it before we went
Yeah.
live. Got to finally see everybody, which was awesome, which was super, super cool. Finally got to meet majority of the people on the panel, which is amazing. Such amazing people. Got to meet Jasmine, Megan, which her nickname now is called Megan the Hater, which that's what they were calling her, which is so funny. Um, got to see Dupree, which was really fun. And the one that I didn't get to see, which is another fam, is Mariah, who's out in LA now doing her thing, which I'm so happy for. So many good vibes to her and to the fam. They're over there all chilling right now. Actually, they all got to meet up, so that's why they couldn't be here today. But it's all good. We still love them. We'll see them, when they come back. But do we have some stuff to talk about today?
Absolutely. Lots of fun
Yes,
news.
yes,
Everything
we have a
cool, new,
yes,
exciting.
yes, yes. How was your week, though? Want to talk to you. How
Oh,
was your
it
week?
was it was good. Just super busy. Lots of stuff going on in school and like personal work and stuff. But nothing too crazy. I can handle it, so we'll be
Mm,
fine.
You got this, girl. I believe in you. You got it. You got it. You got it. No, that's awesome. So let's start off with it. I mean, wow, we have Palpatine coming back. How do you feel about that? And I'll read more into
Uh,
it.
I think they're ringing that death bell too much. Or lack thereof. Like he should just. I think it. I don't know. I'm kind of tired after they brought him back for like the
Rise of
for the new
Skywalker.
movies for Rise of Skywalker. I was kind of over it. I was like, wait a minute, what? No, that's too cheesy. But I
Yeah,
guess like it'll be fine. With in this instance in particular, but I don't know. It was just cheesy and corny and. He's alive, ooh! And I get that, like it's a fun little shocker, but um, I had problems with it, as you can see when it like first happened.
yeah, no, and I hear you. One of the things, so this was actually in 2001 Metro newspaper interview, which they shared online via Reddit. Star Wars leaks. Emperor Palpatine actor, obviously Ian McDermott, admitted that even though his character's annihilation was finally final, there's still this possible chance that we might see him again. And one of the things that he had it was quoted him saying, "I think I have to accept that." Thanks to he was just joking when he says ungrateful granddaughter, my annihilation was finally final. Vader is finally, in the new, obviously the TV series we're going to see in the Kenobi. So it's supposed that, obviously we might see him somehow in this series, but it's 7 episodes. Like, do we really need Palpatine at this point? Like, do we actually need him?
I mean, I think he served his purpose,
You think so?
and yeah, I'm like, I think he served his purpose, but as per usual, and trying to keep a open outlook on things, so that way it's like, all right, I'm not gonna knock it before I try it. So hopefully they'll do a good job, but um, can't say right now whether or not it's going to be good. So
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you said, and others have said it too. I did a live like on Instagram while I was on my lunch break today earlier, and somebody was basically saying like it's true. Like I think we've seen enough of him, and I think that it's just being overused a little too much with these older characters. And I think they need to explore some different, some new things. Like the Star Wars Galaxy is very, very big, and to focus on the same characters, like for example, we got the Mandalorian. Like that was awesome. Like that was like the best thing, in a long, long time. The newest character that we got, and I think they can explore other like it can't just be that the whole galaxy was surrounded by that it just was on Darth Vader, was on Skywalker. Like it was just that name. Like there has to be some other people out there that mattered, that made a difference in the universe. I mean, what do you think?
yeah, absolutely. I think one, a lot of people don't like Star Wars because
Oh my
like
gosh, you really
Jedi
just said
are
that?
OP, like
Uh-huh.
and I think that to a certain point, like Star Wars is about the Jedi Order and all that. Like that's almost like what everything's based off of and stuff. But to expand the universe to something more than the Jedi, because like I think like watching something like The Mandalorian brings it far enough removed from Jedi, with the exception of like Grogu going with Luke and blah blah blah. Like we don't have really anything Star Wars that's untouched by Jedi. And
Right.
I think the appeal would be it's like, all right, yeah, there are these like special force sensitive, wizards with lightsabers.
Wizards.
Um,
Oh my gosh, you just said wizards. I'm so
yeah,
dead.
wizards with lightsabers. It's just it would be nice to be able to remove the Jedi from the equation almost entirely and explore the galaxy through somebody who doesn't have special powers. Like, wow, oh my god. Like, there's
Hmm.
plenty of like people like Han Solo, no powers, just a smuggler, but suave and bandit and all these like fun things you can do with those rogue type characters. Or even just like I don't know, I have a soft spot for like Padme and all she does because she's just amazing. Would love to see something
Yes.
like live action with
Yes.
Padme. I know we saw her a little bit in like the Clone Wars, but like most of her episodes were botched by like Jar Jar Binks, and I feel like my girl got snubbed. So
She
would
did.
love
She
to see
did.
more stuff for her. She's such a good character. But yeah, I'd
Let
love
me
to see something of Star Wars without like Jedi, because some of the main complaints I've heard about Star Wars is that it's Jedi centric and people don't like Jedi.
really I
Who would
love Jedi.
imagine? I
Well,
know, crazy.
we have our other special guest here, everything Star Wars,
What's up,
aka
man?
Rob. What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good, good, good. What's going
I'm in
on,
the car.
dude?
I'm at McDonald's, so don't mind me if you hear me getting my food.
You're fine. Listen, as long as you get us something, we're good. Just get me an order of large fries and a Big
You
Mac. I'm good.
know what's funny? I'm getting a large fry now, so I got plenty to share.
That's so funny. So we're right now we're just talking about Kenobi. We're talking about Palpatine possibly returning. So I know you're ordering, but my thing is this. I personally let me ask you this. I'll throw this at you, Evergreen. Let me ask you, Laurel. Do you think that possibly we can see Padme? Because this is one of the things that's been like hasn't caught a lot of attention, and I've talked about it here so much. But what about her? Like you like wouldn't it like make sense to see her in Kenobi? Like at least in a flashback.
Yeah, I would say it would be in a flashback. It would have to be, because chronologically, at this point, I'm pretty sure she would already be dead. Correct? Like I
Oh
forget when
yeah, she's
Kenobi's actually
gone.
starting. Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
she's dead.
over,
Yeah,
gone, bye.
yeah.
Yeah, so definitely only in a flashback. Do I think they'll do it? Probably
Yeah.
not. Would I like to see it? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
You know what?
yeah.
Yeah. I just I don't know. Like it's one of the things like let me ask you, Rob. Oh, I know you're driving. All right, no problem.
No, no,
I get
no, I got my order. I'm good.
he's like, I
I
got my
got
Big
large
Mac. I'm
fries.
chilling. I'm
I got
chilling.
the large fries here, so we're good.
All right, as long as you got me large fries, we good. Rob, let me ask you: do you think possibly we can see Natalie Portman, aka Padme, in the Kenobi series at any point? Because that name hasn't even been thrown around.
Well, should I say what I know or should I not say what I know?
Oh, go for it, dude. Go for it.
I know the story is going to base a lot on Leia, which I
Right.
find a little weird. I mean, because that's why he goes off. I was like, why would he go off world? Why would he fight Vader? Why is he fighting the Inquisitors when he's supposed to
Correct.
be hiding?
Right.
Grasp that. So as I read into it and read the rumors, Leia's supposed to play a good part. Like I guess she gets kidnapped or something, or something. I
Yes.
mean, exactly yet. Do I
Right.
think we Padme? There's rumors like you did a video today. I know you did. I was going to do one, but you beat me to it, where you were talking about Qui-Gon Jinn. And then,
Yeah.
so anything's possible. Anything's possible. But, for Padme to happen, it has to be a flashback. Because remember, at this time, she's already
She's no
dead.
longer. Yeah, she's already done. She's done.
Interacting with anybody because everybody would be like, That doesn't make any sense, you know. So it has to be a flashback, if anything. Maybe you hear voice. Maybe he'll be meditating, like with the Force.
Yes,
and maybe,
that's
maybe that's when you'll hear her voice in the background, or Anakin know, or maybe we'll, you know, and he'll have a nightmare and he'll be like, oh my God, you know, like I'm so certain he's gonna have nightmares. He's got to.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rainbow Sweetie says here, I don't want many major characters in the show. It would distract us from the main point of Kenobi in this show, which is Kenobi. Yes. Gadget, what's going on? Gadget Trish, what's going on? Thank you for hopping on. She is awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, for when it comes to Padme, because one of the things I did hear, because funny thing is that I actually have a friend who actually worked on the Kenobi set for one of the episodes. So that is something that is really cool.
Look at you.
Yes. Yeah. So I know a couple things. I know a few things that I unfortunately I could put out there, but I'm not gonna put it out just yet. Or I think I have already. Who knows? I don't know. But I will say this. I definitely agree with you, Rob. I think there's going to be a point that we will see him having a nightmare. And the whole thing with Leia, yes, it's actually going to focus a lot on Leia getting basically being endangered and trapped. And the guy, I forgot his name. What's his name? Kunman Nanjal. I forget his name, but he's the guy from the Eternals. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. I forget his name all the time.
I'm not sure. I know, like, you know, the major people I know. I don't know all these other actors who jump in there. I mean, I don't know everybody. You know, I'm not a TV
right.
guy.
So his character actually it actually got leaked that his character is going to be the one that actually tells Kenobi when he leaves what happened to Leia, and he's going to be kind of like that transport of information of where she's at, and it's going to be like she's going to be in like this kind of like she's going to be captured in like this world that's like kind of like dungeonish and all this stuff. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be really cool. I think that the show is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be dark. Let me ask you, Laurel.
It's dark. It's got to be dark. There's no doubt about that.
Spill the tea. Yeah, I don't, you know, like my thing is that one, so for example, right, like I was going to talk about it before, but I guess I'll mention it here because there's just so much news that's come out. For example, Moses Ingram's character, right? Her character is supposedly confirmed to be the third Inquisitor called Reva. And that, to me, when I heard that, I was like, whoa. Like, I don't know if you guys got to see Moses Ingram at one point last year when they came out with the whole cast. They had a video on Instagram of her kind of spinning a lightsaber. I don't know if you guys got to see that at any point. No, but it was cool because, like, again, like I thought she was going to be a Jedi because she was wielding a blue lightsaber, but it ended up being that she is actually an Inquisitor now. So that's kind of creepy. And it ends up being that it ends up being in one of the scenes, she actually, because also too, the Grand Inquisitor is in this. That's a whole nother thing. Like, from Rebels. That's like so cool. So like in that one scene, it said that Reva is supposedly, because they're looking for Kenobi, or they're looking for Luke or something. They question one of the citizens on Tatooine, and she goes and slices the hand of the citizen, both hands of the citizen. Like,
I heard that. I don't know if I did hear that. That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, and she did that all to amuse the Grand Inquisitor. And like, if you guys haven't seen, for anybody in the chat who's seen Rebels, or if you haven't, watch it. The Grand Inquisitor is a pretty creepy looking guy. I'll throw it to you, Laura. What do you think about seeing the Grand Inquisitor and hearing of Moses Ingram's character, the third sister, Reva?
I think it's referencing the earlier question. I think that Disney is probably getting a little bit more, hopefully, bold about making things dark because, you know, Star Wars literally has wars in the name. So you kind of had this expectation that it's going to be about fighting and gore and war and all that good stuff. So I think getting into this nitty gritty stuff would really be beneficial, especially to like and appealing to an older audience, which I think these like some of these live actions should be marketed towards, because like while kids can enjoy The Mandalorian, I think like, you know, they've got Star Wars Visions to enjoy for animation and such. And like, you know, generally children are drawn to animation more. So like if this live action is truly for like us, I would love to see it get dark. But then again, I am all about having animation and live action series that appeal to an adult audience, that where they can go places that kids shows just can't. That's my answer on the dark question. What was the next one that you wanted?
By the way, I just want to say hi. I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to you. Very nice to meet you. Just want to say hi.
Hello.
I like the whole Luke Skywalker. No, the other question was
the Grand Inquisitor. I just read Rainbow Sweetie's comment. I was like, yes, that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. I will admit that I have not watched the entirety of Rebels. It was really hard for me to get into it. And I think that's partially because of the animation style that they used specifically. Like, it was close enough to Clone Wars that I was like, maybe this would work. And then it was far enough, like, with little, like, inconsistencies that I was like, ooh, I didn't like that very much. Like, I don't like the way that their hair looks. I don't know. I'm just really nitpicky about that kind of stuff. So I will try to put my preferences aside and watch it, because I hear so many good things about it. But yeah, I have seen photos of like, you know, stills of the Inquisitors, and I think they visually are very intimidating, and I cannot wait to see the adaptation up to live action.
Yeah, I agree. I guess, and what do you think of that? What do you think of Moses Ingram's character, Reva? That whole scene with the cutting of the hands and in Tatooine in front of all the citizens. How do you feel about that?
As I said, I am really hoping that these episodes are marketed towards a more adult audience, as that does seem like it's a little bit more of a mature content to put out there by Disney. Would love to see it. Like, I'm really hyped for it. As I said, like, I'm just reiterating that I would like Star Wars to go into a dark, gritty place. Like, because I feel like unlike its not counterpart, but like Star Trek, I feel like Star Trek doesn't go there. So I feel like Star Wars should. Because we do have dirt on them, and we should use it. But yeah, that's how I see it.
Rainbow
I will watch Rebels to the end. Thank you, Rainbow.
She's awesome. She's always here. I appreciate you, Rainbow Sweetie. Thank you for hopping on. Yeah, I mean, I think that Kenobi's gonna definitely hit different. I think it's funny because I think it's gonna be something where we've never seen Star Wars go with Ewan McGregor's character. That is to me the most intriguing part, getting Ewan McGregor's character back and seeing this type of different Star Wars, because now they've like, I'm not gonna lie, they've changed the canon so much, especially with the Clone Wars, with the way the movies went, with even the Mandalorian. So like, I want to see how that adaptation comes out to be, because I know watching the interview with Ewan McGregor at one point, he was saying like when he came back, like things are different. It's not what it was at all. Like, and we know that, like, we've seen it firsthand how Disney has changed up everything, you know, from George's vision. It's literally what, you know, everything Kathleen Kennedy has done, you know, is been so different in the direction. Even Dave Filoni, I mean, I know that he has done everything that he could to his power to kind of keep it as George's vision, especially with the Clone Wars. But I mean, they've ventured off and have done so much more. I'm not going to say damage, but they've just changed up a lot of things. And that's one of the things that scares me is, you know, with this big fight of the century that Kathleen Kennedy calls it, with Vader and Kenobi. And then now, I don't know if you got to hear it, it's going to be more than one fight. It's 2 fights. Did you get to hear that?
I did not. That is very interesting. I'm not sure if that's gonna be good or not. I feel like having that build up to, maybe they're gonna like do it in 2 parts.
That, you know, it's funny. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, bet you money they're gonna turn it into 2 parts. That's why they call it, you know, like that's what they're saying. It's gonna be a 2-parter or a 2-part fight. But I have a feeling it's gonna be like the end of, like, because they announced it that we're gonna see Vader appear in episode 3. So we're not going to see Vader up until, so the first 2 is going to be something different, and then after that we'll see him. So I think like it'll be episode 3 and 4 where we'll see Vader. But
Right.
so I don't know if it's really going to be a whole big thing. I mean, I don't want it to be honest. I'd rather them keep it the way it was. So like that's what I liked about the old canon, where it was just, Kenobi hadn't seen Vader, up until A New Hope, and it's just like they're changing it. They're changing it so much.
Yeah. I was concerned about that, because if we see them fight now, because when you look at when you look at the first encounter between the two of them in the original movies,
Right.
the lightsaber fights, as time goes on, the audiences really like it when things get flashy, which means better lightsaber battles and that kind of stuff. I feel like it's underwhelming when we show these really crazy cool fights. And if we establish that they've fought before as Vader and Kenobi, and we have these really crazy fight sequences, and then we go watch the movie, the original again, we're like, wow, that was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So that's my fear with it. Will I love to see it? Absolutely. I'm a Star Wars fan, it's gonna work for me no matter what. But I feel like it will mess with the time, chronological order of things. But hey, I mean, if they make it anticlimactic and keep it really simple, then that might be bad too. I don't know. So I'll pass it on.
Yeah. Rob, let me throw it to you. What do you think?
Sure.
I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on over there. By the way, loving the hood, loving the Star Wars. By the way, before we do keep going, can you just talk about your where to find you? Because I know you're Rob View, so you're also you have another name.
Well, this is it.
There we go.
That's the name.
Everything
It's like that. Yeah, it's everything Star. I used to be everything Star Wars, and then I got involved in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. That kind of took over my channel, and I got a great big following. So it took from there, and it just became a whole big community. And I said, I still want to talk about Star Wars because, as you can see, I love it. And, I did the whole 9. So I want to get dressed up. So I'm going to stream with Sid. So I want to, jump on and get into it and feel part of it. So
yeah, no, definitely.
Sure.
So, how do you, I guess so. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about them possibly I don't know if I'm sure you got to hear about that, where Vader's supposed to be coming in episode 3, and this is supposed to be a 2-parter fight. How do you feel about that?
I mean, well, at first I was very skeptical because the lore is. It seemed like he hasn't seen Kenobi all this time. He couldn't find Kenobi. He didn't know where he was. Because he ran off with Luke. He didn't know he even had kids. So it kind of felt, if you just watch the movies and you don't watch anything else, you feel like, okay, this is a little weird. Why are they going here? Why are they going there? Why are they going to meet up? I don't know if it's fan service. I don't know if they want to get everybody pumped up and excited and bring back the Star Wars fans and bring back the old timers and the new. It's exciting. I think it's exciting. I think it's going to be fun if they do it the right way. I think it can be fantastic. I love the live shows. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think Boba Fett was the best one, but I think it was very entertaining. It was very entertaining. There was a couple things.
I call it the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them. It's not the Book of Boba Fett. It's the Mandalorian, 2.5.
and you know what's funny? A lot of people slept on it, but that was one of the things they said originally. This was gonna be. Oh, there you go. There he is, the child. Cute. But that's what they said originally, that this was gonna be a 2.0. Oh, there it is. Are those puzzle pieces?
No, these are actually the series 4. These are all the So there's different ones. So I got that one. I got a few. So
yeah, I can see.
I tell you, they go fast. They're on the shelf, off the shelf. They go. I mean, it's wow. I know 1 week I can go in, and next week you can't. You're lucky if you find one. It's wow.
Hey, listen, that's the best marketable thing they've gotten. Grogu was the best thing they came up with since sliced bread for them. So, I mean, listen, they did a great job with that, and from a marketing aspect, listen, it does wonders for them. But I just, you know, again, I don't really know how they can go with that
You're too
direction.
far. Sit
I
here.
just, I don't think I would want to see them really change too much with the series. I think that it's going to be a lot too much change. I feel like, you know, and then again with the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba, well, 2.5, right? Going back to that. That was one of the things that they had said.
2.5.
Listen, it's the truth. That's what it was. And you see how heavy when it came to the Book of Boba Fett, how heavy it was that, you know, Mando was really needed. Like Boba really isn't, it doesn't hit like the way Jeremy Bullock's Boba hit. And that's okay. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I think they need to understand that they need to leave. I think this is a lesson that you need to leave those OT characters alone. Let them be, let them rest in peace. They had their time. Now you expand on new. Like, for example, like I know I want to read this comment here. I thought Hayden quit Star Wars after 1 through 3. It ruined his life. And it's true. It did. But he did return back to Celebration, and that's where everything changed. And, you know, the fans loved him again because I don't know if you guys know, he was like hated for his acting. Like literally, they hated him so much. And I think it was in 20, I forgot, like one of the celebrations that he came back to, like they cheered for him. They like
2019.
Was it
in
2019?
Chicago? Because I was there in Chicago. He was there with Ian McDermott, and
Right.
it was great because some people. I mean, it was expensive. He was for autograph or for a picture for him was like $125.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, he was pretty pricey. So I was like, I can only afford one guy. So I said, I got to get Ian McDermott.
One guy.
Come on, man.
Yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, hey.
Even Billy D. Williams was there too. He was $100. They were all around that price. Yeah, it was about $100, $100 a pop. So but it was great. You know, because I heard like a lot of fans went to see him, and man, everybody was happy to see him again. You know, and I remember Star Wars Theory, who's like one of the biggest Star Wars channels out there. He took a picture and he had him and Ian McDermott together, and they were smiling. They were happy. It was good. I was really, you know, it's weird because like when the prequels came out, like people didn't like Jake Lloyd. They went after Ahmed Best. You know, and it's like. And these guys, I don't know if people know this, but they contemplated suicide, and it's so sad.
Jake Lloyd is in an institution right now,
and it's sad because they didn't do anything. You know, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to be in Star Wars?" I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." And it's not you. You're just playing the part. You're playing whatever role they're giving you. It's the writers. So I'm like, I didn't understand this. Like Kelly Marie Tran, okay, another person who they attacked on social media.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I didn't attack the character because I knew it wasn't the character. Maybe I don't like the character, but it's the person who made that character, who created that character. So how can you be mad at the actor or actress? You should be mad at the person who wrote up that character.
Well,
and also,
go ahead.
I'd also like to throw in that usually everybody blames the actor, but the people who are woke realize that it's the writers, but also the directors. Because a lot of the times when you don't have the original like idea generator, creator, the writer on set monitoring these changes that the directors or like these other creative people on set while filming start to change. And slowly but surely the story begins to get lost. And like, I don't think people realize just how much that can screw with a story until like you've seen what happens to a script from like the white version to the movie version. Like it can go really good or it can go really bad. And especially in adaptation, you do want the original writer on set. Do they want to pay the original writer to be on set 90% of the time? Absolutely not. So yeah, just keep in mind that like, yeah, we can blame the writers, but I'd be careful because a lot of these writers do a great job, and it's actually the directors on set that do a terrible job of interpreting.
Yes, it is because, for example, and I want to say to you, Gadget Trish, that is a lot of money. I don't know how you did it, but I give it to you.
Wow.
$29, I'd be broke. That is like the leftover that I have on my paycheck after I'm done paying everything off. So I give it to you. And I don't make much. Oh, damn. 209. My God, that burns my soul. Rickenstein Inc. says, there are very few actors who won't come back to the role / franchise when it's the studios back up a truck full of money in front of their doors. And that is true. And one of the things I'm going to say is perfect example is Rian Johnson. Terrible job. And he came out when the Last Jedi happened. Oh my gosh, how much controversy there was, how much craziness there was. But also too, he took to social media and took it upon himself to come at the fans. How do you sit there and do that? How you're trying? And this is what I don't understand. Like Kathleen Kennedy, he did nothing. And I already, and I have nothing against the sequels. Look, did I enjoy them? I mean, again, everybody has their own adaptation to it, but I already knew it was going to go downhill the moment they went from J.J. Abrams to Rian Johnson back to J.J. Abrams. I'm like, okay, this is done. Like the trilogy is already it's thrown away. Like they already done. And and again, it's not even, and that part is not even like, for example, I'm not even blaming Rian Johnson for that. I blame Kathleen Kennedy for that, because it was her that let go of J.J. Abrams and wanted a different vision. And that was why they clashed at first. Mm-hmm. So that's why he ended up leaving, but then came back because they're like, okay, well, we see Rian Johnson didn't work out. So what's the next best thing? Get the guy who started it and just end it with him.
Great. But they should have. Go ahead.
Oh no, JJ knocked it out of the park. I mean, again, I thought, listen, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the sequels, but I mean, I love Force Awakens. I didn't mind Rise of Skywalker. I just thought it was a very fast-paced movie because it had to pick up the pieces of The Last Jedi. That's kind of like what I got from it. So again, to each different interpretation, but that was just more what I was thinking. I'm just like, wow, like it was just literally, it was a middle finger to The Last Jedi. Literally, I mean, if you haven't watched
But that's what they did. The Last Jedi gave a middle finger to The Force Awakens, and then he got it back, and that's why he wanted it back, because he was like, man, you killed my main villain of the sequel trilogy. You made him look like a fool. And now, you like everything I set up for the second movie, which is supposed to be a setup movie, you made it like it was an end movie. Because when I left The Last Jedi, it felt like everything was over. Like there was,
it did.
Like, it felt like the resistance. There was like a falcon full of resistance. Like, okay, that's not many people, and so I said, there's very little people. And another thing that it never made sense to me, and like they had that epic scene. I think we talked about this last time when Finn is like, okay, this is it. I'm going to sacrifice myself, whatever. And then Rose Tico, no, which was horrible. I think it was the worst scene of Star Wars I've ever seen in my life. And then
just let him kill himself. Let him save. Like that's what it should have just been. Like, and I'm not for knocking his character off, because I think his character would have had such a great story. But man, it would have. I mean, either way, like I'm not gonna lie to you, Finn's character was kind of ruined anyway in The Force Awakens, because his role was supposed to be way different. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I agree with you. Like
I thought The Force Awakens, he had potential, because it was like he was scared, and he was like, he wanted to run away. He wanted to get away from the First Order. He didn't want to kill anybody. He just wanted peace. He wanted peace. That's all he wanted. He didn't want to fight. But then he started to get involved in the fight. So I thought, okay, this is a character who was brought up as a kid, tried to be brainwashed. He didn't want to kill innocent people. He's like, why am I killing these people? I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, And when he realized that they were going to punish him or whatever, he's like, I can't do this, man. This isn't for me. I got to get out of here, So I thought this is a character that went from, hey, I want peace, that's it, to like, no, you know what? I'm going to fight against these people because they're murderers. They don't care who they kill as long as it's for their profit or their benefit. They don't care. They don't care if the person's innocent, never touched them. They don't care. We'll kill them all. Wipe out the family, wipe all these people out. We don't care. So I thought that was the character he was going to become. The thing was, like we said last time, it didn't have a plan. It was, here's Star Wars, here's a label, let's just get some people, let's just throw something out there, let's make our money back. That was it.
Yeah. Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and what they did with the original characters, which I know people brought up in Boba Fett, and I have an argument to Boba Fett. what they did was they said, okay, you know what, Han, you're a loser. And you're going to go back to smuggling. Okay. Leia, you're a failure. You failed. And Luke, you're just a hermit crab. You know, you just be a hermit. You failed. So everybody failed. Everybody who was a hero and saved the galaxy is now nothing more than like a waste. Like I thought that was horrible. Like everybody wanted to see the Luke we got in the Mando. That's the Luke Skywalker. Everyone was like, oh, they wanted to see this powerful master Jedi. They didn't get that. We didn't get that. And that's where people were angry. Like, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to squash our character? I understand if because Harrison Ford, he didn't want to do it anymore. He asked George Lucas, you know.
His death was a long time coming. Him, I didn't have any problem with. I already knew that was coming.
Me neither.
That was the one that I felt was justified.
Right, because he wanted out after Empire or before Empire, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted out around that time. So honestly, I was cool with it. But it was Luke's character, going back to what you were saying. And I see here, Rigginson Inc. says, the sequels were a mess because Disney got the rights to Star Wars and immediately had to turn out something new to justify the billions they gave George to their investors. And that is true. So true. And that goes back to what you were saying, Rob, that they had to pay the money. They had to get that money back because, again, they spent, what was it, $4 billion or $4 million or billion? I forgot what it was.
But that was their mistake. They were sitting on a gold mine. Listen, as a person, again, who saw this in 1977, that's how old I am, to see it in the theater, right? Like, we were craving 7, 8, and 9. We all wanted. It's all we talked about. Why didn't he put out 7? Why didn't he put out 8? Why didn't he put out 9? We all wanted. So 7 was going to be huge. No matter what they put, it was going to be huge. That was their mistake. They have the EU. Okay, the EU is a gold mine waiting to happen. Gold mine waiting to happen.
It is.
Okay, and they have such great characters and such great stories. Now, I didn't read all the stuff because I was hoping that once Disney bought this, they'd make the EU canon.
That's what I thought.
Why?
That's what I thought was going to happen with the sequels. Like, I thought we were supposed to get Jason and Jaina. Like, I thought that was the forefront. When I saw, because I'm like, all right, cool. We're getting the brother and sister, the daughter of Han and Leia. Like, this is it. This is going to be it. And then when I watch it and I leave and I see The Force Awakens, I'm like, this isn't what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to give us the EU version. And that's okay. Like, I totally understand it, but I'm just, I didn't get it. I was so confused, you know? So I was hoping for something bigger and better. But again, look, listen, The Force Awakens was not a bad movie. Like, I thought, honestly, it was like it was just like a continuation, but not so bad. Not so bad. It could, like I said, it could have been better, but not bad. But this is what I'll say. I will say this, is that overall, what they should have done was not rush it so fast. What they should have done was taken their time, because now, if you see it now, you could tell what they're trying to do. What Dave Filoni's trying to do is pick up all the pieces from the sequels. They're trying to rewrite those wrongs that they did from the sequels, because like you said, Rob, what they did with the sequels was just rush it, put it right back out to gain that money back. They didn't care about, oh, well, you know, we got to do, you know, we want to make it the way George wanted it, because none of this was even his vision at all. It was not even remotely close to that vision. So to get what we got was kind of like, well, you know what? And then, like, this is what I'll say. I'm not a big fan of Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not going to get into all the negative stuff, because I'm not here to bash. But what I will say is this: if you're going to take over something, have a plan. And you could tell now, like now with the whole thing, because they're planned up until 2027, if I'm not mistaken. So they have a whole bunch of things coming out. For example, like obviously we know Kenobi, Andor, the Acolyte, Rogue Squadron, which I'm actually happy they just brought back out and said that they're gonna keep it going. So they're gonna bring the movie back out next year, if I'm not mistaken, or the year after. But it's nice to know that Disney now has a plan, or Lucasfilm now has a plan. But before, when they did it, it was just so rushed, so shoved down your throat. And that's how you saw a lot of the actors come out and say, like, listen, like, this isn't even what, because for example, like Finn, I forget his name in real life. Oh my God. Oh, John Boyega. When he came out and said, my role was supposed to be different. I was supposed to have more screen time with the lightsaber. They cut that out. That's where the disservice came in. And that's why it's like, now, will we get John Boyega's character back? Because again, I'm not going to lie to you, like, seeing him in Rise of Skywalker was a little annoying, because him saying the whole movie, Ray, Ray. Like literally, that's all I have from him in the ride. That's all I have in my head. And I'm like, okay, if they're gonna bring him back, number one, I know for him the money has to be right. Number two, they have to have a plan and do justice and have a director that's gonna do the next trilogy the right way and have a plan and a layout for what's to come. What do you think, Laura?
I totally agree. I think the only other person more hated than him was Rose for what the writers or the directors changed to have her do, like for stopping him from doing that. It's like how do we save the rebellion with love, or like, you know, blah blah blah. That was such an awful line. Oh, so cheesy. I like to say that they really Disneyfied that.
They did.
You know, they like Disneyfied it, romanticized it to suit their own like marketing purposes, and that's just definitely the wrong decision to make. I think it would have made his death meaningful and impactful. If they weren't going to do something more with the character, it should have been that he died, because you know he got snubbed. And
I think I agree with you, because I think that we needed something, because a lot of the times what I'm noticing is like nobody's dying, like none of the good guys, like as much as I don't want them to, but it's like they're not dying the way like they should, in an honorable way. Like Luke's death was not honorable. It was honorable, but it wasn't like, if he was gonna die, let it have been like the Rise of Skywalker, like switch it up, you know, let it be that where he ends it there.
Now,
one thing. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Because I have such opinions on the deaths in these films. One, I'll talk about this one. Worthy death. This would not have been a worthy death for Chewie, but it would have been a very interesting plot device for Rey.
Yeah.
For her to have that fear of visions of turning to the dark side become an actuality for the audience to very relate to, is that when she almost kills Chewie with the Force lightning, I was like, oh my God, she could actually be evil. Like she could become a Sith. Like that would drive me over the edge. Like if I killed my best friend with powers unbeknownst to me, I would probably go off the deep end. That'd be absolutely nuts. I think that would have been really amazing for her character development. Of course, they're not going to freaking kill Chewie. Of course not. But I think it would have been cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too, because not for nothing, and I'll add to that statement, is that, to be honest, his death wouldn't have been bad because we've already had him for so much. We've had him in so like in reality, it wouldn't have been like a disservice because he's been in all the movies. So in reality, he dies. Okay, you're basically getting rid of the old characters, and that's fine because we already got a taste of it with Han. We already knew that was coming. So like if you end Chewie, now it's cool because now and I understood what they were trying to do with the sequels. I totally understand the concept and how they're trying to get to adhere to a new generation and a new era. Totally fine with that. I'm all in support of that. It's just have a plan, have character development. And that was the thing, is like Rey became so OP in such a short time. It was like she had no trials, she had no tribulations. Mm-hmm. It was just like Luke, he sacrificed himself. She didn't get to really face Kylo the way Luke had to face Vader, in Empire, and also in, oh my gosh, in Return of the Jedi. That's what I'm saying, is you don't get to see that. It just is it's quick, and it's she gets saved by everybody else, and she doesn't get to really learn. She doesn't have that real training, especially with Luke, in The Last Jedi. It was everything you were saying before, Rob, and it's true. It's it was just, everything was just it wasn't hopeful. It wasn't the Luke that we knew. And I get it. I know there's been people that'll say well, he wasn't always that hopeful Luke that and I get it. There were certain things that made him not so hopeful as well in certain areas, but it's to get that version of Luke, in the comics, in the books that you read that we're getting now, it would have added to Rey's story a lot better. And it's now if we do get Rey, because they're talking about making a sequel, a post-sequel trilogy, which is inevitable. It's gonna come. It's gonna come eventually. How do you go about it now? How can you fix what was then to now? How does that even work?
What they should have done, and I think we discussed this also. If I was running the show and I was JJ, there's two things I would have done that could have corrected The Last Jedi and everything. It would have made it look good. The first thing is Rose Tico. What I would have done with Rose was make her a spy for the First Order, and then I would have said that's why she tased him. That's why she kept him around. That's why she crashed and stopped him and prevented him from saving the day. It would have made sense. It would have been, and then she could have fell in love with him, and she could have messed him up in the Rise of Skywalker. Like she could have been, oh baby, you know, whatever, and he would have been like, what's going on here, you know, whatever. Or maybe he falls for it, and maybe at the end she pulls out a gun and says, "Don't you do something?" Like maybe he has the opportunity to destroy something, and then she pulls out the gun, and he's like, "Rose, what the hell are you doing?" You know, and we could have had that moment. We could have had that moment between Rose and Finn that you're like, oh my gosh, this all makes sense now. It would have made sense for everything. The other thing is, go ahead.
I was just saying, I was like, do it how they did it in Frozen. Oh, Anna, if only someone loved you.
I know.
Massive betrayal, slap in the face, like really freaking good. That I applaud that though, and that would have been really interesting to watch.
And here's another thing, because remember the Canto Bite scene, right? And they just happened to be in the same cell with this guy DJ, right? Well, what happens if it was all set up by the First Order? What happens if she said, "Hey, look, they're sending us to Canto Bite. Put him in the cell with me. You know, capture us. I'll tell you where we're going to park." Because he goes, "Why would you park so obvious? Why would you not park in the woods or something?" Well, that's why. Because she's a First Order spy. So everything she does that's messing him up, and he's like, "Why you this? Why that?" Because it was done on purpose. It would have made sense for the whole entire sequel trilogy that she's a traitor, that she's working for them. I was like, man, this would have brought it all together. I was so pissed. And instead, they just throw her away. I'm like, man, she could have been such a great hate her character at the end of this movie. You would have like hated her guts, like you son of a. But it would have made sense. The other thing was, I thought if I was directing, when it comes to the last scene, right, I would have had Rey do the whole thing. She goes and visits Tatooine. She buries the lightsaber. She sees Luke and Leia, and then the woman asks her who she is, and she turns around, right, and you hear Palpatine laugh in the background, and then she chokes that woman, and she says, "I'm Rey Palpatine," and BB-8 be like, "What the hell?" And he would have just looked at her, and then you would have had Finn, who's now Force sensitive, would have been like, "Oh my God!" So first Rose Tico would have turned on him. Now Rey would have turned on him, and you would have had Finn having to scramble to learn the Jedi ways, and Rey, who's already a Sith, learned from Palpatine. It would have been great because you would have carried Palpatine, who's always the big bad person. You would have had Rey as Dark Rey, which we saw, and you would have had Finn as the good guy. And he would have had to been fighting his emotions because, like, he could have loved Rose and she turned on him. He could have loved Rey and she turned on him. You know, it could have been a Rose Finn thing. I think it would have been so exciting to do that way. And Luke, here's what I would have done also. I thought, in my mind, I thought that it was going to come down to Luke versus Snoke, and Snoke maybe was going to kill Rey. Like, okay, you know, and Luke would have sacrificed himself, and you know, Snoke, whatever his name is, Snake, I don't know.
It's Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. And I would have made it like Luke sacrifices his life so that she can go on, you know? And then maybe she winds up killing him because Luke, you know, essence and all the Jedi's essence help her overpower, you know, power. But they could have had it. It would have been so terrific. It would have all made sense. And people would have been like, oh man, this all makes sense now. This all makes sense. And having Rey turn at the end, like she buries the lightsabers, like that's to signify you're done. Your legacy is done. Palpatine wins, you know? And that would have been like the wow, what a
Skywalker saga. Yeah.
Who would have seen it? Who would have, and the end of the Skywalker saga, what a way to end it than to leave a cliffhanger with her as Dark Rey and Finn saying, what the hell? What do I do now?
I think that would have been good, and it's fun. And I'm gonna say just a second. Gadgetcher says there's so much to fix, but I think Star Wars is in better hands, and Disney Plus series, and the rumor of new movies will correct some of the issues. I totally agree with you, Gadget Trish. I think that literally what they're doing now with these shows is gonna fix a lot of things. I mean, the sequels are canon. They already came out and said they're not gonna do the sequels. They're not redoing them, so that's gonna stay there. I think they're just gonna give us. I think what they're gonna try to do with the sequels, to be honest with you, and I'm gonna read this here. The way Mark Hamill talks about 7 and 8. Oh my gosh. Let's not even go there to that interview where he's basically going back and forth with Ryan Johnson. But anyway, what I think they're gonna do with all these shows and how to like kind of change it up a bit is like they're gonna tell different stories that kind of like maybe change Rey's character a little bit, or kind of explain certain things. That way it can set up for not even the sequels, it can set up for possibly like the post for like after the sequels, where we could get a different story as like getting away from Rey's story and like telling maybe like not even Grogu, just somebody else. Because it can't just be that in this galaxy the whole thing
Broom
is
Boy? How about Broom Boy?
What?
yeah.
Don't get rid of
Yeah.
Boy. That's
He
a whole
should have
nother
been there.
that's a whole nother thing. And it's like, there's so many stories out there that can be told, but it's like they focus so hard on the whole, Palpatine, or the whole like, the whole Skywalker. And it's like, I agree with you, man. Like it would have been a way better story if you would have had it where Rey turns into, she would have like really embraced the Sith in her, the Palpatine name. And it's like now, Finn becomes the new Skywalker trilogy, right? Like that sets up a whole new thing, and he's not even a Skywalker. So like that would have been like so dope. And like now him as the actor that was so angry that that we learn after is so angry about what happened to his character. He would have been happy. He would have came back. He would have been as happy as Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley. He would have been like, "Oh, sign me up for 10, 11, 12. I'll do the rest. I don't mind." And it's like to see that story now, because now it's like a redemption story, right? Or how can he redeem Rey? How can he bring her back the way Luke brought back Vader at the end? How he got to see the redemption.
Exactly.
And that would have been so dope to see that version.
Because
now it's
in
like
The Force Awakens, like, did you guys, maybe I'm wrong, you two can correct me, or the chat can correct me. Didn't you feel like there was something like his two strangers who are loners, right? Finn's a loner. Right. He doesn't know who his family is. Rey's trying to search for her family, thinking they're still alive. And it was I felt a little spark between them. And I was like, what happens, So what happens if that would have been used in the sequel trilogy? Like Finn could have been going to, I can't believe Rose turned on me. I can't believe her. What do? I don't know much about the Force. He could have been going through all this worry and scaredness, and then led up to maybe the ending when he just tries to win her over, and maybe she's able to fight it off or something like that, Again, these were all my ideas and my thoughts that I was thinking.
No,
one of the things that I originally was thinking of when these came out and I saw the ending and I saw that Kylo dies, I was very upset at that ending. I felt like it was a cop-out because of all the bad things that he had done, and he finally turns to the light side. I was like, we need to go over this character. And I'm like, oh my God, how are they going to fix everything that he's done? He's been a terrible person for years. And I was really excited because I was like, oh my God, he's good now. We're going to get to see all of like the reprimations that he has to do, all the sorries he's going to have to say. Like how do you even begin to repair your reputation, after all that? I felt like Disney really did a cop-out by making him die, especially since Rey had just unlocked this massive force healing ability and then doesn't or can't use it on him. That was total BS, and I feel like that should not have ended the way it did. And plus, with like the with this kind of rule of one, it would have been really cool to see them switch. Kylo becoming good falls into Rey becoming bad. Like that would have been really cool to see. And it feels like, a continuation of this back and forth between the two of them. And it kind of just like falls into place, everything. And then they just kill him. I know.
And I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw Ben, I was like, yes. Yes, I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was so happy to finally see him turn, and it was nice, like the redemption story. But I was like, like you said, when they killed him, I was like, oh come on. And that's what I mean. Like, even if like let's just say like the whole thing, let's say Ben survived, let's say they changed it all up and Ben survives, Finn is still there, or like what if tables turn? What if he, because what if Finn ended up dying in The Last Jedi? Ben survives, through in the Rise of Skywalker, and now Rey turns. Like now it's his story to bring her back, and then like there's so many ways that this can go, and that's what I love. I would have loved about it to see, because I feel like we got so deprived of his story, and I think that just killing him off, because I think they try to go the route of like, kind of like the OTs where it's like, all right, like the bad guy has to die after every, like basically like at the end of the trilogy. And it's like, you didn't have to do that. And that's what I mean, is like, it was just lazy. It was poor writing.
It was lazy.
Yeah. They really didn't care. And like, that's why I say, it's like, for example, going back, this is what I wanted to say about Rose's character. Look at her in The Rise of Skywalker. Her screen time was like cut like big time. And then when she sees Finn, it's like she's never even met the dude or like cared like less about him. And I'm just like, wait a minute. You guys build up so much hype on these two, their love story. Now all of a sudden it's like nothing. It's like it never even happened. Like they kept it, like, let me tell you, they really pushed the whole love thing with him loving him having a thing for Rey. Like that again, that's why like all I have in Finn's, like in my mind from Finn in The Rise of Skywalker is him just yelling out Rey's name. And she's like, she force pushes him to get out of, like, she's just like, get away from me. Like literally, like just get away. Like don't come near me. I don't want anything to do with you. And that's just my thing, is like, again, whatever they do post this, they need to fix it. Like, again, the dyad in the Force, that's a whole nother thing that like kind of annoyed me. Like, what did you think about that, Laura? Like with the whole dyad thing, what'd you think?
Say it one more time. What?
The dyad. So like the whole thing with how like, like how they can connect and like see like that. Yeah, like that's
I thought it was interesting because I thought they were going to have some sort of like, I don't know. I think it was an interesting plot device for those movies, because she needed some sort of like connection with him to create this like level of bond between them before they actually like meet, because how else would they have made opportunities for these two to meet in like not even like a casual setting? It was interesting. I'm a little bit of a sucker for it. I liked it. I think it could have gone better. I don't dislike the idea of being able to connect with other beings through the Force, because, we're all a part of the Force. So I think that it's an accurate, like, or maybe not accurate, but it's an adept way to communicate with one another. So I think that it was totally valid that they could do that. But as far as the special bond between them that allowed that gateway to open, I think that was less explored than it should have been.
Correct. I agree. I think that's something that should have been a lot more explored. KG. I think of the Michael Jackson song. What is it? Stranger in Moscow. KGB was stalking me. I think they added the Finn in love with Rey thing just to have a love triangle like the OT had before finding Luke. And yeah, I get that.
I can see that.
I just think that. Yeah, well, let me tell you. I'll tell you this though. If that was the case, then my man Finn literally had it going, because he wanted Rey. Then Rose's character wanted him. So it's just like, my gosh, like there was too many love stories going on, and I'm just like,
I agree.
Like just stick with one. And it's just like, all of that trying to just rush everything again. Going back to that, it's a lot.
I'll tell you another thing that I was disappointed with was the Poe Dameron. I like Poe Dameron a lot. I like his character. Listen, to be honest, the sequel trilogy was kind of like the 4, 5, and 6, right? Because you have this big planet that they blow up instead of the Death Star, and then Poe Dameron's this pilot. Okay, you think of Han Solo. First person I thought of was Poe, Han Solo. You think of Crate, you think of Hoth. So there's a lot of things. Yeah. Then he goes to Dagobah. He goes to where Luke is. Then there's the whole cave thing. Luke was in it. She's in it. Hers is very confusing. We really don't get any answers. I don't understand. I've seen Ray 100 times. I don't know what the heck any of that meant. I have no idea.
I know. If anything, I got a headache when I saw that.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed when when she comes to save Poe, and then he's like, "Hey, you want to get together?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "What the? Why? Wait, hold it. Whoa. You come all the way there to help him out, and then you're like, okay, like, come on, give me a break. Like, why didn't they get together? They should have got together. He should have been with her. There's nothing wrong with that. That would have been a great story. They could have had a Poe Dameron thing with her, with Bliss and whatever, and they go on their own adventures or something. They could have done a series. I would have watched it.
I was a diehard Raylo fan, so I mean,
no.
Yeah, sorry to break that to you.
I'm kidding. No, go ahead, Rob.
I have one more thing, and then I'll shut. I'll keep quiet. I'll mute my mic like I always do. The other thing is, I wanted to know what you guys would have thought. Let's say, okay, Palpatine, it's down to Palpatine or Rey or Ben or whichever way they go with the story, like you were saying earlier. What would have happened if they would have said, well, who did all this? You know, who helped you? Who helped you come back to life? You know, and then her father would have walked in, and it would have been like, now if her father, you know, would have came like he knew all this all along, and he's trying to turn Rey and saying, I'm your father. We know that. This is your grandfather. Join us. You know, join. That would have been like, and Ben would have been like, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm so sorry to cut you. I agree with you 100%. Because when we finally got that flashback in, I think, what was it, Rise of Skywalker, where we finally see that it was her father that gave her up, and it ended up being his son. Like, I'm here thinking, wait a minute. Like, this would have been such a compelling story. And like, why is the father not even where is the father? What happened to the father? Like, I mean, we know he got killed, but like, what, I don't understand. Was he like, did he have any powers? Like, what did he bring to the table? I didn't understand that. Like, we just went from, you know, Palpatine to basically screw his son, but straight to the granddaughter. So like, I don't understand that really much. And that's something that needs to be explored a little bit more as well. Well, I don't think they will, but that's a story that needs to be told somehow, because how did you know, like, where, like, did Palpatine ever meet her before? How did he know that was his granddaughter? Like, what, like, did he know? Like, I don't, because this reminds me now, like, it's like I get the vibes of like the prequels about it, where it's like he was searching for, like, he knew Anakin, because like, I don't know if you know, like in the tales of like Plagueis and Palpatine, they knew about Anakin. Like, Anakin was in one of the rooms, and like Plagueis was supposed to get him, and he ended up not. So like, that's where I get like all of this. Maybe at one point Palpatine was like trying to get his granddaughter, but never got to her because again, he had no idea. But like, how did he know about Anakin, but he didn't know about his granddaughter? Like, well, that's very confusing.
In the comic books, and I did a video about this on this on my channel, Rob's Rules. I did it because it was everything Star Wars at the time. It was a while ago. Maybe it might have been 2 years ago. But what they did was, in the comic books, they have Palpatine with Shmi, and like he knows, like he's putting her hands there. Yeah. So now, according to the story with Plagueis and Palpatine were together because they were trying to create this ultimate Sith that would wipe out. He'd be the ultimate. He was he would have been the best of the best. Like, no Jedi could have touched him. He would have wiped out the Jedi. He would have been the ultimate Sith, all that. And then the Force, according to the story, the Force, you know, because it's its own being, its own self, its own spirit, I guess, said, "Oh no, you're not going to play with life. You think you can control life?" So what we're going to do is, as the Force, we're going to make the ultimate one, the chosen one, who's going to stop you guys. Right. And so Palpatine, which makes no sense now, because then Palpatine knew about Anakin, and he said, well, I got to turn this guy. No matter what I do, I know he's the chosen one. I know he's what we were trying to create. So now that the forces went against us, I've got to control him. If I control him and I have him and me, there ain't nobody stopping us. And I think that's what I got from the prequels. So with that little story in the comics, that's what I got.
Yeah, no, I mean, it totally makes sense. Again, like, that's why the prequels for me, like, as much as people kind of want to, like, I mean, like, people want to shit on them sometimes, excuse my French, I kind of understand. I understood the prequels because again, it was a setup. Like again, Palpatine had to create the clone army. Like he had to do that. He had to create, he had to wait for Anakin to kind of build up, get older, learn the ways of the Jedi, be the strongest Jedi, and then make him turn on them, which is like, again, perfect story. But again, like the whole thing when it comes to Rey, it just makes no sense. Like it really doesn't. Like he knew he had a son. He could have just been like, listen, I'm gonna take her. All this, like the fact that she was on Jakku for that long with like nothing, like nobody knows anything. Like I think is the dumbest, like poorest writing I've ever seen. Honestly, I would say that it really is. It really, really is.
Well, again, and when you say about Jakku, you just hit me when you said that she's on a what? A sandy desert planet. Where does Luke on a sandy desert planet?
Yeah.
Who becomes the chosen one? Luke Skywalker. Who becomes the chosen one? Rey. I mean, well, Luke's not the chosen one per se because Anakin does what he does and kills the Emperor at the end. But when you think about it, if it wasn't for Luke, his father would have not turned. So Luke was a huge role. It's like you said. We want to love it. I don't like people out there who do love it. There was one guy who said that with The Last Jedi taught him, and I thought that was fantastic, and I understood 100% why he loved it. And he loved it, and just give me a minute, let me explain. He loved it because he wasn't having such a good life. Like his life wasn't going the way he wanted it to. And he's a big Star Wars guy, and he went to see The Last Jedi, and what he got from the movie, which I found fascinating, was that it's okay to fail. Because you don't have to succeed in everything, and failure will teach you to succeed. And he went home and he said, with that message, that sentence that Yoda said, that failure is the best teacher, which I love that myself. I have to admit, I love that.
Yeah,
he went home and said, you know what? Okay, so I didn't succeed here, but I can succeed. The guy went on to get a good job, got married, he has a kid now. And I was really happy for him. I was really happy that this story was, he told me the story because I was like, you know what, even though I felt the way I felt, I can see why someone like him enjoyed the movie. Why it motivated.
It's a redemption story.
Him.
It's a redemption story. It's a great story to tell somebody. I mean, look, listen, I mean, I think the sequels can help people in a lot of ways. I think that we miss the message sometimes as well. Like, again, as much as we look at it from a fan perspective, we could be like, oh, well, this could change because, again, we're such hardcore fans. But there is a message in those movies that you can get. And, again, it's a beautiful redemption story because at the end, it's like all good does prevail at the end. Like, that's how I see it. It's like Rey prevailed. She, the light won. The Jedi won at the end. It wasn't the dark side that won. It ended up being her. So I get that. I don't know. I just, like I said, like when it comes to that, it's just the sequels, being such a hardcore fan, they still have a lot of things that they need to change up. And I'm hoping that they do it with, a lot of the things. And going back to Jakku, talking about that, let me ask you guys this question. Anybody in the chat, you remember how, Luke says, Tatooine is a boring, like nothing happens there. It's a boring planet. Could you see, I was having a conversation about this with somebody. We see now how fun, we see how much fun Tatooine is now. Like there's so much going on there. Do you think at some point when all this is done, like all these shows that are out are done, do you think that eventually the next focus will be on Jakku? That'll become the new Tatooine?
No chance. No, I don't think so.
With the lightsabers being there now, you don't think so?
Okay, yeah, the lightsaber's there, but I mean, I guess they could. I don't see why they would though. Like, I mean, well, because it's established that it's like a scrapper place. I guess Tatooine is too, but like, I don't know why they would ever want to go back to that. I don't know. I feel like if they go back to that, it's really dull and they've done it too much.
Yeah.
Once is good, twice is enough, 3 is a little much.
I don't know. The reason why I say this because I think about it. I was like, what's the next sandy planet that they can go to that's old course and is, as it gets everywhere, what's the next one? And I'm like, I think to myself, well, it could be Jakku. I'm like, that's the next sandy planet that Anakin or any other Skywalker could dislike, So possibly Go ahead.
You just reminded me again. You just hit me because now I'm thinking Star Wars. There was a story. Again, here's what Disney does: they do books and they do comics to fill the void, which I wish they would make a movie. Right. So there was this story. It's called the Battle of Jakku. So I was wondering, like, how did all these ships get here? So now, if you play Star Wars Battlefront 2 and you just watch that story on YouTube, it's a fantastic story. It is really. It gives you Luke the way we want him. It's a great story. What happens after Palpatine died? His contingency plan. It's a fantastic story, which leads in to the Battle of Jakku. They could make a movie out of the Battle of Jakku, and I bet it would be extremely entertaining because they have enough material there. And I don't know why, if they're going to go to a movie about it, that's what they need to do. They need to do the Battle of Jakku.
I'd like to interject that the lightsabers were not buried on Jakku. They were buried on Tatooine.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I guess
I had to go fact check that real quick because I was hold up, there were two suns in that setting scene.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that overall, that I guess my point overall was that even though it was buried there, yes, but what I'm saying is that could be the next like sandy planet that they kind of talk about, because I just feel like with so much now, going back to what I said about like Luke saying like, oh, well, it's a boring planet, not much happens here. That's why he wanted to join the Empire, remember? That was the thing. So now it's like, okay, what's the next thing that they can possibly touch on? Jakku could be that next thing. That's what I think personally, because again, like that she's still alive. So like now, like if you do post-sequel trilogy, that story is going to be about her and where she came from. So that would be Jakku, the same way we got where Anakin came from and Luke came from, Tatooine. So it brings homage to that. So now, let's say, for example, she goes off, her story kind of turns out like Anakin's, where she has kids, and let's say the husband she has dies, and whatever, she turns into the dark Rey in these new like post-sequel trilogy or whatever the case. Kind of going back to what you were saying, Rob, where she turns into dark Rey and all this stuff, and then it's like they go back to that world. Like I don't know, I just see it like that. I don't know. It's just wishful thinking, and I don't know. Again, I would like to see something other than Tatooine. It's just too much now. It's too much.
I agree, and I mean, if you look at side-by-side photos, you might not be able to tell them apart.
No, it's true.
So, but yeah, I think the only thing that could make Jakku interesting is that if they did something like, well, this side of the planet is dry and dusty and ravaged, and then the other side of the planet is like really well off. Like maybe there's a reason, world building wise, why this planet is the way it is, and why she grew up in basically poverty for like, you know, the majority of her life. Maybe there was like a greener pasture on the other side of the planet. Like, I would like to see some world building. Just if we were going to expand on Jakku, I need to see the world building first. Like, I don't think characters are going to drive that story. I think they've done enough with sandy planets. Would love to see something else.
Can we get the planet next? Yeah,
that'd be cute. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see some sand in a tropical area. Like, get some water up in here. You know, it'd be dry.
What about Kashyyyk?
Yeah.
I'll take Scarif. Is that the one that from Rogue One, right?
Rogue One, yeah, that's a good planet.
I'll take a planet like that. Listen, that was such a beautiful planet. I was like, when they blew it up, I was like, no. I'm like, damn, we can't get that planet again, because it was dope. Like even playing it in Battlefront 2 is such a nice place to, like, such a nice area to play in.
Well, did they blow up the entire planet, or did they blow up just that area?
I have no idea.
I don't know if it was
the entire planet. I think it was.
I think it was personally, but I'm like, sure I guess we should probably check.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and look. I
don't know. I don't remember. I only saw Rogue One like twice, so
I remember everyone getting vaporized and like everything across the horizon was just gone, and I'm like, oh, this is an end of the world kind of deal.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, the Death Star literally blew that shit up. I don't think that thing would survive in that one. I didn't think so. So that's why I'm assuming that it's gone. So, I mean, from what I remember,
see now you're gonna make me look it up, man. You see what you did?
Well, I mean, I think we can assume that if that large of an area was like catastrophically affected by that like blast, I think like the nuclear fallout of that situation would probably end most life on that planet.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it makes sense if the planet ends one way or another, whether it be being blown to pieces like Alderaan or it just, you know, kind of nuclear fallout dystopia later. So
That's true. Yeah.
now that would be interesting.
Go ahead, tell us
Well,
the script.
Star
What's
Wars
your-
and a nuclear like fallout. Yeah,
That would
there's
be.
plenty of worlds that they could do that on. Plenty,
That
so
is
many.
true. That is true.
And here's another thing about Jakku. I don't know if you both know this. So the story, right, is that in Jakku, Palpatine kept artifacts throughout the galaxy, and he had like these little laboratories, observatories, right, that he kept on each planet, and they were guarded or whatever. And so with Jakku, he also had one there, but in the center of the planet, it was meant to destruct. So the thing was, he was trying to get the rest of the Empire because he thought they weren't worthy anymore. So he gets the Empire and he tries to get the rebellion. He tries to kill them all on the planet. So he tries to have the final battle there and wipe them all out. That was his goal. That planet was meant to destroy both factions. So the Empire and the rebellion didn't exist anymore. That was his goal. He said, if I'm going to die, you're all going to die. And that was his
all
plan.
going down.
Yeah,
and
if I
if you
can't
look,
do it, no one can.
so if you haven't watched, I would strongly suggest watch the cutscenes because it's a fantastic story. It really is. Battlefront 2. If you watch the single player, it is just
I played it.
well
It's a
put
great
together
game. I love that game. Battlefront 2 is really good. That's why I was hoping for a Battlefront 3, which might happen. Stay tuned. I might have a video on that eventually. No, but yeah, I that's a game that really told a really good story, and I like the version of Luke, honestly, with that story. So again, that's something they need to touch on. They need to fix a little bit more because there's a lot. I'm saying there's so much storytelling that they can do just overall with Star Wars, and like not even just the sequels, just even before the sequels, like that whole time, like after Kenobi, like that's why I'm so excited. And we can turn to Andor now. Like that's gonna be a really good show. Like that's a sleeper. Andor, the Andor series is a real sleeper because also like a lot of people don't know, but like Kenobi is Kenobi and Ahsoka are also cast for that series, and I'm freaking excited for that shit.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got casted. They had announced it last year. I remember I did a video on it, an old video, and they both got cast for it. There's a lot of big names that are going to be in that series that people sleep on, and that's why I say don't sleep on Andor because that one's going to be the one that's going to come up and it's going to kill. It's going to hit really hard.
I think it looks great because I would love to see what a rebel spy does. And according to him in Rogue One, he's like, you have no idea what I've had to do for this galaxy, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I want to know what you have done. I want to know, like, he had to make a choice and he hated it, you know? But if he didn't do it, they wouldn't be where they are now. You know, so I want to see that because another thing too is the Acolyte. I'm looking forward to that because we always get a good guy tail.
Don't get me started on the
I'm getting you started. Go ahead.
You can't do that, bro. You cannot. That is one series that like I have been hyping up since it got released. And that was when I was like, I used to podcast with a friend of mine, and that was one that I have been so like, that is gonna be the grittiest show, the darkest show. It's got a lot of potential, that series, because it takes place 50 years before the prequels, 200 years after the height of the High Republic. So you're gonna get a story of you're gonna hear tales of the High Republic, and you're gonna hear, you're gonna get to see Plagueis' time. You might see Darth Tenebris in there, which I would freaking love to see. The mad scientist Sith. So that show, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that another time. Maybe we'll dedicate, this live stream one day to just that series alone, because I have so much that I can get into for that series. But I mean, I agree with you. I think there's so much overall that to look forward to with Star Wars, going back to how big this galaxy is. And, telling tales is like, going the series route, I'm not mad, but I do miss going to the movies. I miss going to see a Star Wars movie. I really do.
Well, don't we have Tiki Watweedy, who's, I can't say his name right, but We to TD. I always get these names wrong. I butcher people's names. I'm horrible at this.
It's okay.
Even Star
I do
Wars
the
names I
same thing.
butcher.
every time I'm doing a video and the person's name is so hard, like I'll go to watch an interview so I can be like, okay, this is their name. And then when I go do when I'm doing my video, I'm like, I look after my video and I'm like, fuck, I messed it up. I'm like, how did I mess up the name when I just learned how to say it? You know, always happens. But
you know, it's like I know he's supposed to do the movie. Now with COVID and all, I'm sure it set it back. But before COVID came out, it was set for next year. Now I haven't heard much in a while, so I don't know.
I have. Well, I could talk about it. I did a video on it. So do you know what it's going to be about?
No, I don't know much about it.
So, okay, so basically, I'll give you guys a little spoiler. I'll talk about it here a little bit.
Go ahead.
So, Taika Waititi's version. So, Kathleen Kennedy in an investors meeting gave an image of. I don't know if you've ever seen like read the comic of Star Wars. I forgot the name. I totally forgot the name of it. But it's where they have this like diamond shaped. Oh my gosh! I'm like I literally lost it. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I forgot it. I totally forgot it. I have the comic too. It's so, like such. Go ahead.
There's two things you have to look up. Rogue One, the ending was the whole planet gone, and now you have to look up this.
No, the whole planet isn't gone. I just saw it now. The whole planet is not gone. It's actually that one.
That's what I thought. I thought they just went after that one area because I remember when he first went after the other area where Sol Guerrero was. Vader was ticked. He was like, what were you doing, man? What were you thinking? And he was just like, listen, we were testing the weapon. He said, yeah, well, you don't understand what that makes us look like. Right. I had to say it was a whole oil and mine thing that blew up and blah, blah, and he choked him. He was mad at him for what he did, So, again, you had the same situation here. So I said, yeah, at that time, the Empire was trying to look like, hey, we're here to protect you. What we're doing was accidental, or we had to do it because there was a lot of people there. So they were covering up like, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys. Remember that. They're the ones who were threatening us. Because Palpatine in the end goes, look, they scarred me. They tried to kill me,
Yeah.
I had to fight them off. They almost killed me. So, and in the comics too, again, I don't.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh no, that's like the worst when we lost him. We lost Rob. So I don't know if we'll get him back. Oh, here we go. He's back. You're back, Rob.
So they have all the Jedi lightsabers, right? And what they're doing is they're having a big celebration and they're throwing them into this furnace, and everybody's celebrating. And Palpatine's trying to make it look like they're the killers. They tried to take over. They were power hungry, and I saved the day. So Again, there's so many stories, and they're so well written. I don't understand. They're sitting on a friggin' gold. They can make billions with the EU, with these stories. How about Darth Vader Purge? How about a Jedi Purge? How about that?
Oh, dude. So, okay, you want to talk about a Jedi Purge? I'm actually going to talk about this. This is what I was going to talk about. So I remember now what it was. So basically, what Taika Waititi's movie is supposed to talk about. I don't know if you ever read Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. Did you ever get? Okay, read it. It is for whoever's watching. Please read that comic. Read the book. It is amazing. So it talks about this is Legends. This is all stuff that's not canon, or well, it might be now because they're gonna do the movie on it. It talks about the Thoyor. So the Thoyor is basically this pyramid-shaped thing where it goes to all these planets, and it basically calls to like anybody who is force sensitive. And this is how the Jedi started, and this is how you got the planet Titan, and then you had the other planet, the Sith planet, which is what's the other one? The other Korriban, the original one. So this is how like it started everything, and basically what his movie is gonna touch on is the beginning of the Dawn of the Jedi. Because if you look at his logo, it's basically like a Stone Age type of a logo, and that was the way it looked in the comic as well. So that's kind of like what they're hinting at, and that was brought up in the investors meeting where Kathleen Kennedy actually pulled up an image of the Thoyor. It's a really good story. Rob, Laurel, check it out. It's really, really good. Really good. Definitely worth. And anybody in the chat, if you love a good story on how the Jedi started, that is the one right there. That is the one to look up, read, and watch. Like I did a video on it like months ago, because the moment they released that shit, I was like, I gotta put that shit out, because not everybody knew about it. Not everybody was kind of talking about it. So I was like, let me just get on it, because again, like, how could we not be happy to hear about the beginning? Because like that's another thing. We need a story on how it all started. Like that's what I've been dying for. Like I've been dying to learn and see what it looks like to see the beginning of the Jedi. That's what I want. That's what I really want.
Could you imagine that we got to see like how the Sith and the Jedi, like you said, how the Jedi became? They were called, I know, I don't remember much about the EU, but I know a lot of people read it and stuff. I remember they called the Jedi. They weren't exactly called Jedi.
Yes, it was called the Jedi Order. So J E D H something like that.
Yeah, and I know that the Sith wound up like becoming powerful, but the Sith were killing themselves. So there was a ton of Sith, but they was fighting for power, supreme power. Like, no, I'm going to be the best, because the Sith want to control. You know, they're greed. It's all about greed. So then Darth Bane made the rules too. There's only going to be two people, master and apprentice, and that's it. And that's how the rule 2 came, you know?
Well, that came years after, because that was after the Brotherhood of Darkness. Like that see, like that's what I'm saying. And my bad, Laurel, you can go now. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no. I was about to ask. I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard something about at some point. I'm confused. I think it might have been the Jedi or the Sith, but at some point, the name is actually the race, or it used to be the race, and then it was transformed into the name of the two sides. Somebody might have to fact check me on that one. I totally forgot. I think I read it somewhere. It could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But
I mean, well, so you're talking about like that was the name instead of it being like the Jedi, meaning like that. So I think you are, if I'm not mistaken, right. So it was basically that. So before everything, really, there were no lightsabers. They had swords. That's what it was. And then as time went on, they ended up, because and that's what Dawn of the Jedi does. It talks about how it all started, because it wasn't lightsabers. They were actually, when they had the war, I forgot the name of the war that they had, but it was basically like very samurai style ish. So that's the concept art that they kind of have, and you see it go kind of further in that story. It's really good. That's just, you have to read it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's
was it the 1,000-Year War? Was that what it was called? Was it called that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I know, like, for example, like during that time, like right after, you had like Naga Sadow, who's another Sith. I don't know if a lot of people know about who Naga Sadow is. That's a whole nother story. Like these are like all the tales of all the like the Sith, because there's a lot more tales of the Sith than there is of the Jedi. I don't know if you guys know, but like if you read like Freedom Nadal, like there's so much stories on the Sith, and that's why I love the Sith so much, because their tales are so amazing. And it's true, because they were all like, for example, like the first Jedi who turned Sith was Ajunta Paul. That was the first ever Jedi turned Sith, and it's like his story is like so amazing. And I'm not gonna like talk about it too much, and that's why I say you guys gotta like really read up on it. Watch it.
Have you done any videos on this stuff?
Yes, I have. I have actually. It's I have like little like shorts. They're like Legends videos that I've talked about like these certain characters. Like I've talked about the Brotherhood of Darkness.
Check it out.
Yeah, I've talked about Naga Sadow, Ajunta Paul. I mean, a whole bunch of other characters I've talked on. I just kind of haven't done it. I've been kind of slacking on that lately, just because there's so much news out. But I will pick on it. You know, Rob. Who knows?
We'll do it when it's slow. When it's slow, you know, because you always get that peak when everything comes out, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden it's like quiet, you know. And so when it's quiet, then you could just.
The unfortunate thing is that when it's like nowhere near right now, we're so high up because like Kenobi is right around the corner, so it's like there is no light.
You reminded me. You keep reminding. You keep saying words that keeps. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to ask him this. So I'm going to ask you, because I haven't read anything, and I'm not going to start a rumor that, you know, I don't know for sure. So I'm going to ask you, because you seem to know your stuff a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Is now Ray Park and Qui-Gon Jinn, you know, I forget, Liam Neeson, they had their issues. They had some things go on. I think it was racism. Something else was going on in their lives. So Star Wars was kind of pushing them out the door, right? So
Correct.
now I'm wondering, okay, it was rumored he's going to come back, Qui-Gon Jinn, but there's been nothing on Ray Park. But we all know in Rebels, for those who've seen it, spoiler alert, that Kenobi, Mauls comes back, and his whole goal, the only reason he's back is to get Kenobi. While we're having a Kenobi
Correct.
show, will we see a live action Ray Park versus Ewan McGregor? Do you know if that's how it's going to end, or we won't see it? I haven't heard anything, so that's what I'm
Right.
asking you. Maybe you heard something.
So some time ago, a couple months ago, it was Ray Park had put out he had put out a picture on his Instagram and took it down right away. It had actually on it, it had the logo of the Kenobi series and it said Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so it might be, don't quote me on it.
Right.
It might, but I don't think that they're gonna meet in that series because again, when he sees Kenobi in Rebels, that's like 4 to 5 years before A New Hope. So I don't think we're gonna see them just yet. I don't think we're gonna see. Maybe we'll see Maul at some, maybe. But remember, this is only 6 or 7 episodes, and there's a lot of things that that'd be a lot of things you'd have to get in that series. I mean, you already have the Grand Inquisitor. You have another Inquisitor. Omar, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for hopping on. You have the Inquisitors. You have a young Leia. You have a young Luke that got cast as well. You have
Jimmy Smits.
Yeah. Well, he's there more there because again, he's there to tell Kenobi about what happened to Leia.
Right.
I mean, there's just so much that you can do. I mean, and that's the thing. We don't even know how long these episodes are going to really be. They might say an hour, but is it really going to be an hour? And how much could you really get in an hour? Because again, we saw Book of Boba Fett, and they had episodes that were like 52 to like 54, like 3 minutes, and it was it was okay, but they still couldn't even finish it. So I wonder how much they're really going to be able to, because as much as it's going to be talking about, I think honestly, I'm going to tell you honestly what I think is going to be. I think that this is just to kind of tell us, is to rewrite the comic of the Kenobi. Like, I don't know if you got to read the original comic of Kenobi, of his time in exile after Revenge of the Sith. So like, basically, like in the original comic or book, it was told that Kenobi basically went into exile, did not even leave. Like, he didn't do anything. He just stood on Tatooine, never used his lightsaber, only when he saw Black Chrysanthemum. Obviously, that's why he has the scar on his eye. But that was pretty much it. Like, whenever he went into town, or Jabba the Hutt's, people were looking, for whoever, like, he never used his lightsaber. He used the stick that he had.
So if he never left off world, aren't they retconning that story? They're
That's what they're doing. They are, because I don't know if you heard, I think it's in April or the beginning of May, they're revamping that comic series and having it with Ewan McGregor's basically his version now.
I heard.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, because now it's like they're gonna basically, that series is gonna be put into one comic. So I can't wait to get it, because now it's like I can have answers that I've been looking for with Ewan McGregor's version as opposed to Alec Guinness's version. So that's gonna be pretty cool to see that. So
I'm gonna ask you guys a question to I don't get much comics now because, like I said, I got hurt and haven't been able to go out too much. So I did get the Kylo Ren series because it was I don't mind short series. I can't get series that are never ending. So I was like, sure.
Don't do the Vader down, bro. Don't do the Vaders, because oh my God, they'll kill you.
So I got the Kylo series, and they showed that he was able to learn that when he was falling, he could stop himself from hitting the ground. So they tried to explain that's how he survived. It's because he learned from Snoke or whatever his name is. They learned from him that this is how you stop yourself. So if you're ever falling, you won't die. So I was like, I knew because I read the comic, because I'm sure other people like, how the hell did he survive falling off a cliff into like who knows how far he fell? So, but the comic tries to explain that he's able to brace himself. He's able to use the Force to stop himself from, like, I guess, like a force push. So he's able to use the Force to stop himself from Smacking.
I'm sorry. Who are we talking about? I'm so sorry.
Kylo Ren. Kylo
Oh
Ren.
yeah. Okay.
So with that thought, then they could make Mace Windu alive, couldn't they?
Oh, dude, we're stretching it right now. We're not gonna get into the whole Mace Windu. I'm not doing that. I mean, it's been said that he landed on Maz Kanata's car as she was flying. Like, there's so much things. Like the whole, like I'm just so glad with the whole thing with Windu, like coming back, and like I'm all for a great redemption story, but he'd be really old if you brought him back into the Mandalorian. He'd be like 89 to 90. I don't think fans. I mean, me personally, I don't want that version of him. I really don't want that version of Samuel Jackson. I'm okay with the way he went out. I think that, I'll tell you one thing. One of my speculations for the Kenobi series, at one point, I believe that what would have been really a really cool story. I'll tell you this one. Instead of having the whole fight of the century be Kenobi and Vader and them seeing each other again, what would have been cool, and you guys can tell me and comment on this one, is if Kenobi went to a certain planet and Mace Windu was there, and Vader sensed Kenobi, goes to that planet, and he leaves and ends up finding Mace Windu there. Now they fight again. He actually kills him this time around. That would have been a better story. I feel like that would have been better.
Agreed. That would have been great. That would have been great. Yeah.
And they can do it. Remember, this is only 10 years after Revenge of the Jedi. Revenge of the Jedi. Wow. Revenge of the Sith. Wow. Revenge of the Sith. That's how you know I need water. But anyway, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, again, I'm going to bring up Star Wars Theory. He was supposed to, but then COVID hit. He was supposed to show what if Mace survives. Vader versus Mace.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, it is happening? It is happening? I didn't know if it was happening.
You didn't know. Oh, you don't know. So
no.
Darth Vader 23, which is Dupree, that's on this panel, is the Vader from Star Wars Theory's fan film. You didn't know that?
Nice. Yeah. No.
Yes, I know. He's a part of the writing for that. So,
it's funny. Dupree knows a guy who I know. He used to be Let's Talk About Star Wars. He doesn't do his channel anymore because he's got so many things going on. But Dupree used to hang out with him, and the guy's going to come on my show because he was in the Star Wars Theory's first movie. He played Clone Troopers, so he was dressed as the Clone Trooper. And by the way, that guy, he helped Dupree make the saber. He makes lightsabers.
Dude,
he
look
makes
who just
the whole thing.
Us. Dude, what is going on, Theory, bro? What is good, my guy? That is insane. Talking about Theory. That's mad funny. We're talking about Dupree, and look who comes in the chat. What's up, Theory?
Wow.
That's so funny. Oh, man. Well, if Dupree would have been... Well, so we are missing... So I don't know if I didn't get to
He's an
tell
awesome guy, by the way. I'm just going to say, before he got really big, I remember I just started the channel as everything started, and I emailed him, and man, I was joking with him because he was just going to do his Star Wars Theory. He was so cool, man. He was writing to me in email stuff, and he was really great, and I liked him. I always liked him. I remember when Disney tried to put him down, man, I jumped right to the internet to defend this guy. I was like, man, how dare you sit there and go after this guy when he said, I'm not making any money off this movie. And it wasn't Disney, it was another company. But I was like, man, come on. The guy worked really hard. He made agreements. He did everything by the book. He used his own money to make this movie. And then you go out and do this. And I was like, that's just, man, I think the whole community blew up and right to YouTube and right after them because we were mad. We were like, don't do that. This is a guy who spent how many people take their hard-earned money and would do that? And he did.
That's one of the things I've had a conversation with, and we're doing pretty good, Theory. How are you doing, bro? Thank you for your presence, bro. I will say
he's
this.
He's an awesome guy. He really is.
I've talked to Dupree. Me and Dupree are like, bro, that's my boy. I don't know if you know, Rob. When I went to Cali, I got to finally meet Dupree. Darth Vader 23 finally got to meet him, and we had such a great time. We did a live stream over there in Cali with the whole fam, with the whole panel that we have here. And I mean, man, what an awesome human being, and I love that. That is the homeboy right there, and we've been talking so much, and I appreciate all the things and it's just crazy. Talking about what you were saying is it's crazy how you see things happen. in the community with people who give so much. And I agree with you. It's a disservice, especially from Star Wars. But again, like that's their MO. That's what they've been doing, especially for a while since Kathleen Kennedy. But go ahead.
One of the guys I met who actually theory was he did a live stream with him was Drunk 3PO. I met Drunk 3PO because he down in we went to Orlando and he said, "Hey, I'll meet you there."
Wait a minute! I just met Drunk 3PO with you, and he was on the live stream here a couple months ago.
Yes, in New York. We met him in New York. It was actually my birthday. And he came there with Abu Nas, Lord Callis, 19K Fox. Damaj and I was there. Yeah, the whole group, the Dark Council was there. So it was really great to meet all of them. I actually met him in.
Hold on. Wait, Theory. I thought you had a live stream on Tuesdays, bro. Now you're doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Bro, you taking up the whole time. Now I'm messing with you. He's got 2 live streams. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, dude, he's great.
Yesterday. No, it's funny though. Now I'm messing with you.
So it was cool. So I met Drunk. Drunk later on did a stream, and I was like, he's like, I'm gonna have Theory on my live stream. I said, dude, I'm gonna watch, man. You got me hooked in. and Drunk's a great guy. I like him. He gets a lot of heat because of the Gina Carano thing, which I think, and she's a sweetheart, man. She's been taking a lot of. I feel so bad about that whole ordeal. You know, with the whole, you know, I stand by her. I don't care. You know, everybody should have their freedom of speech. That's why I'm like, if you like The Last Jedi, great. If you like the sequel trilogy, great. You like the prequels, the EU, whatever you like, because to me, it's about one thing. It's about passion and it's about love of what we all love it. The reason we argue, the reason the fan base, oh, this movie sucks, oh, that sucks, oh, this, because we're so passionate. It's 4 generations, it's 4 decades, and it's 2 owners. Two owners. It's George and Disney, you know, and we all have passion, and that's what it is. Like my daughter's she loves Rey, you know. So what he say? What he say?
No, he was like, no, I'm saying that I live stream at Tuesday, bro. You just said good. I did a live stream with Josh. It's Wednesday, bro. You over here clowning? What's wrong with you, bro? Over here clowning. No, but I will say this, man. I will say this. One of the things that I never understood in this fandom is that. I don't understand because I've seen videos like real bad hate videos on people, and I'm just like, how can you sit there and get mad at somebody for giving their opinion? Like, if I go on somebody's
I don't understand it either.
Like I've watched certain people, and I'm like, okay, like if I don't gel with it, I just don't watch it. Like I don't give it a thumbs down. I don't like. I don't dislike it. I don't unsubscribe. I just don't even like because you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it real 100 right now. That's my New Yorker in me, but I'm gonna keep it 100. Is that, you know, number one is like, this is the hardest thing to do, to come on a live stream and talk to people that we've never met ever. Like when I first hit up Laurel, like I remember we were talking about it. Like she was just like, okay, like this is going to be fun. And it's just like, what? And you know, again, it's a hard thing to do. And to do it takes a lot. So I always give credit even to those that even throw shade at whoever. It's a hard thing to do. Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be lit, bro. Let's talk about Kenobi for a second, because I don't know if you got to hear this, about this new Jedi called Nari. Did you guys get to hear about this? Because this is like, so let me talk about it a little bit here. So in a report from Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's been basically reported that he's going to be meeting up with Kenobi to talk to him, starting this, like, I don't know, like supposedly want to start a new Jedi Order too. Like that's a whole nother thing. Like, and I just wonder how they're gonna make this, because again, it's been told that we don't know, there is no other Jedi. It's just always been like from the past. It's been obviously Yoda, Kenobi, and now you know who I want to see. I'm gonna tell you who I want to see. Quinlan Vos. Bring my man Vos. Throw him and do him some justice, please. Quinlan, come, because how they did him in the Clone Wars is so dirty. I'm sorry, they made him look like a fool, like this hipster dude, and I'm just like, come on, man, bring Quinlan in. Like, did you get to read Dark Disciple?
No, I didn't read a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more of the movie, TV guy. No. You know, I haven't had a chance to read
somebody
it.
Was mad, bro.
Not me.
No. So my thing is so in Dark Disciple, because another character that I want to see too that I know is not gonna happen is Asajj Ventress. Like,
yes.
But she dies in Dark Disciple. They kill her character off in the book because it's at the hands of Duke. And it's canon. It's canon. But I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping. I really pray that we get to see Asajj Ventress at some point. Like, that would be dope. Like, please don't let her just stay dead in that book. bro. We might. Yes. So that I did a video on that today, bro. Yes.
Yeah, he did do a video. I watched it and I commented. By the way, I did comment on the
Theory,
video.
you get, bro. You literally, Theory's literally like going straight for it. So
Let me,
man,
I just gotta say something about. I want to say something
go
about
ahead.
Theory while he's here because listen, I think the guy is great. I think he's an inspiration. He's boosted a lot of YouTube channels. He's done a lot of things for a lot of people here. You know, he's. I didn't like another thing. I don't know if it was Pablo Hidalgo or somebody. He was doing a reaction video, and like he really got to him. And you know he
the crying one. Yeah.
I'll tell you, man. That's why we're a great community because we stick by each other. And the minute that someone jumps on us, like when Ryan Johnson, I know Mike Zero doesn't talk to anybody. I know he puts out like 20 videos a day.
Zero.
All right, but
Mike
when
Zero.
Mike Zero was, wait a minute, I bring him up for one reason because him and Theory were picked on, and I could tell you so many channels jumped to protect Mike and to protect Theory because we weren't going to take that. We weren't going to let these low class people who said, "Oh, you guys are white supremacists," and all this stuff. Like, it's our fault that you can't write. It's our fault for lazy writing. So if people don't like what you put out there, just say, "Hey, we got to fix this. Let's take a step back. Let's give the fans what they want." That's why they did Disney Plus. They're doing the right thing. They're going in the right direction.
They did it,
you know.
for Mickey.
But don't pick on people. Don't pick on people.
Agree.
You know, I think that's wrong. And for being a producer or director or something, have a little class. You know, have a little class. People are passionate about. To people, this is religion. This is our religion. Because this. Listen, there was a guy.
For people, this is their life. This is This is what they live on.
There's a guy. He's now Black and White Sports. Great guys. John Matrix, Rhodes Rants. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but they're great guys. Again, I'm going to push them because I love those guys. They've been with me for years. Rhodes did a video. I did questions for creators to try and get to know the Star Wars YouTubers. He said that Star Wars saved him, that he was a sick kid. He couldn't go out like other kids. He was very sick. And the reason he started his channel was because Star Wars. And it helped him. And it helped him get through. And there's a lot of fascinating YouTubers out here. Some people don't know, you know. And I'm like, it's amazing. There's a guy called Lightsaber Addict. You could look him up too. He did this because he lost his daughter. And Star Wars helped him get through that. I don't know how you could pick on people. Like, people don't get it. They're like, oh, it's just a bunch of wizards with lightsabers. No, man, it's more than that. It's more than that to people.
It is.
People don't get that. People don't get that. That's why we cry. That's why we excited. That's why we're people don't get that, man.
It's true, man.
And it bothers me. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. I talk too much.
No. You're good, bro. You're good. You're good. I just want to get to the juicy stuff. My bad, bro. I just see here Theory's already going for it, man. He's just laying it all out. So let's go back to Qui-Gon first, bro. I want to talk about Qui-Gon since you brought it up here. You know, the whole thing with Qui-Gon, I wonder how they're going to do it because the report came out that he, again, this was Making Star Wars, put this out on Star Wars Santa, talking about it, how supposedly we might see him. We don't know yet if it's going to be physical or if it's going to be a voice. But my question is that this is, remember, because Kenobi is set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Now, listen, I'm a sucker for Liam Neeson. I would love to see him in the Kenobi series. I think we could all literally throw a thumbs up in the comment section for that. But my thing is that how do you incorporate it? Like, is he still talking to Kenobi on his path 10 years after Revenge of the Sith? Because again, in Revenge of the Sith, it was told from Yoda to go to Tatooine that there he would see. He didn't say hear. He said you would hear and you would see an old friend. So I'm thinking now this is where the confusion comes in. In the Clone Wars, remember who didn't finish their training? Remember, it was Qui-Gon who didn't finish his training, and that's why he never became a Force ghost. Remember that. That was one of the things that was told. So now I wonder, did he finish his training after he died? Like, is that a thing? And I don't know. But again, who truly knows? Star Wars Theory says, yo, Pedro Pascal is giving a hint that we're going to see familiar faces. Yeah, he did say that. He did speak about that. He said at one point we're going to see some face. I think the faces that we're going to see is like, well, first off, hold up. I want to finish the whole thing with Peter. You going ahead, bro? You going too ahead, bro? Pump the brakes. The whole thing with what do you think though? Do you think that we'll possibly see him in the? Do you guys really think so? You think we'll see him? And I'll throw it to you, Laura. Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
She's like,
at this point, I mean, I think it'd be good. It'd be good to see. I mean, wait, he's already been seen as a Force ghost, right? Like,
he was. How do I put it? He kind of was in. It wasn't. I don't know if it was Force Ghost-ish or something, but I know, yes, Yoda did see him. But from what I remember, he didn't really finish his training technically, because remember that was said in the Clone Wars, and that's why like he wasn't able to that's why he wasn't able to be seen after. So I don't know how much, like, I don't know which route they're gonna go, because again, the wills of the Force, like that's why I say there's a lot of confusion when you have the Bendu, the wills of the Force, then you have all these other things. So I'm just like, that's why I'm very confused as to how they're gonna go about this. Like I said, me personally, I think it'd be dope to get a scene. Like I've seen dope artwork where Kenobi's like sitting in the desert and you see like Qui-Gon's like Force Ghost come out. Like that's a dope scene to see. Like one of the things that I said that I would have loved to see, and you guys can comment in the comment section, is that I would want to see where like the show starts off with like Kenobi like asking questions. How did he fail Anakin? Where did he go wrong? And like Qui-Gon talks to him as to what happened, what went wrong, what happened to Anakin. Like that is something I would love to see, the two of them talk, and then kind of like fast forward 10 years later, and then we get what we get, which is what we're getting now.
Them talking would be a little bit too straightforward for traditional storytelling. Like that would kind of get like it's too much to the point.
Right.
But I think if they kept it brief but meaningful, that would work really well. So if I have hopes to see it, I want it to be brief and I want it to be meaningful. So like I want it to serve a purpose and not just to give all the answers at once, because I don't think it should be that easy.
My friend, I hate to interrupt, but I really got to get going because I got to put my kid to bed and I'm going to have dinner. I didn't even eat yet.
Yeah, you're
so
good,
I just
bro.
want to say, first off, it was great being on. Thanks again for having me. I hope I could, listen, I will always come on if you always invite me. Trust me. Lauren,
bro,
it was great
family,
to meet you.
Bro, you family, bro. I appreciate you for always hopping on, not wanting, but for hopping on when I tell you.
And Theory, if you're still out there, I don't know if you're there or not, I just want to say thanks because you've inspired me. You've inspired many people. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're well respected in the community. Everybody's got your back, as far as I know. I hope one day I can meet you or we could talk or whatever. I really hope that. I think he's a great guy. He's a good inspiration. He's helped many YouTubers. So listen, if you don't subscribe to Eternal Sith or Star Wars Theory, something's wrong with you. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go lurk and I will hit that like button, smash it, and everybody else, I hope you smash it too. So, dude,
I appreciate.
I hope we do this again. I hope we do this again.
Dude, every Wednesday, bro. So I'll see you here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hopping on. Please subscribe to his channel, Everything Star Wars, as he puts videos out almost every day, because I know he's gonna get on the grind now. We're gonna be in competition now, so he's gonna get on the grind and put things out.
I just put one out. I put one out about
Oh yeah, that's right, you did. The Galactic.
I put it up. The Galactic Starcruiser. Yeah, I put out all the details, the course.
Yep, you see, I know. I got you, bro. But yeah, go like and subscribe to my boy's channel. Thank you so much for hopping on, bro. Many blessings, and I will see you next time, bro. Later.
Take care. May the Force be with you.
You too, man.
And also with you.
But Theory says, I gotta go. Well, dude, thank you so much for hopping on, bro. I appreciate you. Hopefully, but yeah, like I was saying, it's cool to see that that they're talking about Qui-Gon. I think that was a name that's been thrown around for so many years, because we know the relationship obviously with him and Kenobi and Qui-Gon. So I think that it would be nice to see that. Now, do I think that there's going to be a lot of fan service in this show? I think there's going to be a lot of fan service.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
when you come out of the gate with it, it's named Kenobi. Oh my God, you already know it's going to be. That's a dead giveaway.
I know.
Also, if he does make an appearance, I read something that was interesting about somebody speculating on how it could have been different if Anakin had been mentored by Qui-Gon and not Kenobi. So maybe, because I feel like Qui-Gon would have I would hate to say like Kenobi didn't do a bad job, but maybe Qui-Gon was the person that Anakin would have needed instead of Kenobi. So I don't know, maybe speculating
I think so.
that
I think
Qui-Gon could have been a better mentor.
He was the father figure that he needed. That was what because Kenobi. I'm sorry, excuse me, I just burped. I'm not that again. Well, that's why you hear Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin is there and he's burning. He was like, you were my brother, Anakin. You were supposed to, save the Jedi, and but all
but
and all of
didn't
that.
Need a brother.
Right, he didn't need a brother. He needed a father. He needed a father figure. And I want to say to Toby Maguire here, he says, "Yo, I'm new. Have we seen the new Spider-Man? The Spider-Man movie? Yes, we did get to see that. But I got to see it. Did you get to see it? I don't know if you did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, maybe we'll do a Spider-Man or we'll do a Marvel one day. But I mean, again, he needed a father, and you could see that like. He didn't need a brother. And I think, look, it was nice that he had that relationship with him. But I think that, and that's always the what if, right? Like, that's why I'm dying for Star Wars to do a what if. But I think that if Qui-Gon would have stayed, if he would have been alive, defeated Maul, definitely for sure, Anakin would have fulfilled the role of being the chosen one and everything would have been balanced. Well, I don't know if it would have stayed balanced, but everything would have been fine, right? And I think that you would have still had Oh, Toby Maguire says, I subscribe, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. I really do. I don't know what would have happened, obviously, if there would have never been a Darth Vader, right? But again,
right.
What happens then to the whole...
no, without Anakin, the whole thing falls apart. But it's interesting. I guess long story short, I just want to see Qui-Gon take responsibility for what happened and be like, yeah, no, this was meant to be my burden, not yours. Like, that was not on you. Like, maybe give him a little bit of peace with what happened then. So I guess that's probably not going to happen. But I mean, making it brief and meaningful is like the main point of that interaction that I want to get stuff from if they do it at all. So.
Well, I mean, going to Star Wars, did you get to see Star Wars Visions?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And I mean, wasn't it just amazing? Like, honestly,
it was really cool to walk through all of the different characters. See, that's why I'm super on board with everybody who says we need to see more. That's not just the old characters. Like, we've had enough. They've had their spot in the spotlight, blah, blah, blah. We could really expand on all these new characters and not even stuff from the extended universe. We could just go straight into who's got new material, give new writers a chance to take a bite out of Star Wars, And of course, it could always go badly, but how are we gonna know unless we try?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I guess the whole thing with the EU is that, for me, right? I'm totally in agreement with you. Is that there's Rob always supporting. Thank you so much. Also subscribe to Rob Rules Everything. AKA Everything Star Wars. I will say this though, in a sense of that, wow, can you refresh my memory? I just lost track. What were we talking about? Because I totally forgot. Totally forgot.
We were talking about Kenobi encountering Qui-Gon and
just right now, what were we talking about? I'm sorry, I got lost in the
I know. I looked at it too, and my brain just went kaput because I've been awake since 7:30 in the morning. So this is a long day. So forgive me.
Yeah, forgive us, guys. We've been up for so long. We don't even know what we're talking about because we're talking about so much. But I think we were talking about different type of Star Wars. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, new Star Wars Visions. New characters, new writers.
The EU. Yes, that's what I was saying. Is that in a sense, giving writers giving them a chance to do something new. I'm all for that, but you have to admit is that you have the material there. Like everything Star Wars was saying, you have that material there from the EU. Take advantage of it, because the thing is that, for example, now we're getting this OP Luke. Finally, they finally Dave Filoni finally said, you know what? Let's take a little bit of that Luke from Legends or or the EU version and bring them into it where you know, he's this OP character, he's strong, he can do all these things. That is what I want. And if these new writers could come in and talk about the tales of, like, you know, for example, you do a cosplay on her, Darth Talon, like that's a story, because that's post sequels. That's Kate Skywalker's version of a Sith. Like that's, you know, that's the version that I want. That's a story. If a writer can take that story and, hey, Star Wars Theory, yeah, he is. What's going on? That's the type of version that I want. Like a writer to sit down and say, you know what, let me make this version. By the way, I have to say, please go check out Evergreen Tree cosplay. She has amazing cosplay where she kills it with Darth Talon. So please go check her out. She does an amazing job. And it's you. I know you're like, I really do. You know you do, girl. Don't even play yourself. You know you do. But I have to say, like, I really love like the post, like the EU story is just amazing. And I think that if a writer gets it, use that material, because again, it's been there for so long. Like, for example, like we have this new Jedi named Nari who's gonna be in the Kenobi series, right? Okay, cool. Now, is this it? Like, this is a Jedi that I want to see get hunted down by Vader, because again, it was told in the comics that that's what he does. He hunts Jedi down. That's what I want to see. That's the type of you know of Vader that I want to see, that I hope we get in this series. Hey, Star Wars. Oh yeah, of course, man. Theory. Oh my God, bro. Eternal. I smashed the like button, but oh, bro, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I'm gonna tell Dupree, bro. I'm gonna tell him. No, I'm kidding. Love you, bro. Much love for you. What's good, everything Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, like, if let me ask you this, Laura. I mean, if you could write, you know, if you could write something from the EU, what, like, would you want to incorporate things from the EU? That's what I'll ask you. If you were a writer for Star Wars, would you want to incorporate things from the EU or just do something brand new? Go ahead, because I know you're in the film industry. I want to hear your take on it.
I think it would be interesting to take a little bit of both. Like if you were to center a character that has never been seen before in the films or in the EU, you could do that and then find a really interesting villain to intersect that character with. And you could completely create a new story with the center being on this new character versus or dealing with the villain from the EU, because there's so many, as you said, there's so much Sith material. I feel like you could draw from that. And then also, not to mention, I did not get to pop in earlier and say it, but the Sith are so interesting. And
they are.
Like, when you look at their creed, it's so much like, you know, they're made out to be like, you know, Star Wars is very like, you know, this is the light side, this is the dark side. One is good, one is bad. And it's very black and white. When, you know, really it should just be, it's all very gray. And I don't think a Sith has to be a bad person in certain aspects of their life. When you look at their creed, they don't have to be completely evil. You know, they can have families, but they are driven by. Yeah, they're human. Like, you know, they can like love their kids and just be like, that is a point of, I need to protect this person, to the point of it's their Achilles heel. Like I protect, like how Anakin fell, you know, like he loved Padme so much that he fell to the dark side because of that love, you know, because of that need and immense pain to feel that he needs to protect her. So like, you know, Sith are such complex, like, you know, I say that and everybody like, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, it's so black and white. I think they're complex. I think we should see a story where, maybe it's like an anti-hero situation where, you know, a Sith maybe does something good and we get to see that. And we're like, wait a minute, I thought you were supposed to be bad. Yeah. But, you know, it doesn't have to be like they're doing it for the good of the universe. Maybe it's like also helping them in some way. And it's like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see that. I would probably, so I guess long story short, to answer your question, I think I'd find a Sith that's got some interesting qualities, and I would morph them into something where we're like, I don't know. She's, I think we can find something that's got material with it that could be morphed into an anti, like, you know, hero story.
Yeah, I want to answer what Theory was saying. Yes, they did talk about seeing some clones in the Kenobi series. So honestly, my biggest one, because Tamora Morrison did put it out there. He said he would love to be honestly, look, bring him as Rex. I think we're gonna see him as Rex in the Ahsoka series, though. That's the one that I think we're gonna see him in if he's ever gonna reprise the role of Rex. I think it'd be Ahsoka. I don't know, but yeah, there are definitely gonna be some clones up in there. So you know that. I mean, it wouldn't be. I think you're gonna see a lot of flash. Well, they did say they confirmed that we're gonna see a flashback of Anakin in the Clone Wars, basically like armor. So that's gonna be really, really cool to see. I'm excited for that. What do you think about that one? Are you excited for that one to see?
Oh, absolutely. Silly.
Yeah, hands
Silly
down,
question.
hands down. I know, right? But I mean, yeah, I mean, going back to two, I mean, I I'm like losing my voice. Don't mind me. Oh my gosh, I would really want to see where. See, like this is the one thing I don't know. Let me ask you this question. This is for anybody in the chat. Would y'all want to see a version, a TV show of just Vader in the beginning after Revenge of the Jedi, just seeing what he's doing and just hunting Jedi down? Would you want to see something like that? In the chat, and I'll ask you too.
I mean, I would love to see a show doing a really good job of telling a bad guy's story. And, you know, as I said, it doesn't have to be them doing something good. Like it could just be them being evil. And I think people really dig that, especially like, you know, with Disney doing these villain remakes like Maleficent or Cruella, you know, like
I actually like Cruella. I don't know why.
I do. I didn't say anything bad about it. I was just saying that they're doing it.
I think we're more than homies now. Like, you ever see
yeah,
Step Brothers?
absolutely.
I think Step Brothers?
Huh?
Did you ever see Step Brothers?
No, not yet.
You gotta watch it. One of the things he's like, he goes to the brother. He's like, they did something that they started playing, and they were like, "What? Did we just become best friends?" And he's like, "Yup." And I'm like, "Yo, that's."
I've seen that scene somewhere. I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, no. I this is my thing about it, right? If they touch, let me tell you something. If I don't think they'll ever do a series though on Vader, and I'll tell you why. I think if anybody's gonna do it, let it be Theory, because that's the only one who could probably do it the right way. I'll give you that one, Theory. I'll give you that one, bro. You could do it better than them probably. But the reason why I wouldn't give it to Disney, and I hope they don't touch it, which I don't think they will, is because I think that they would ruin him, honestly. I think they're very scared to go that dark route, and I don't think they would even know how to. I think that that's why that series, The Acolyte, because that's going to be very, very, it's going to be very dark. And I think that if they see how that goes and it goes really well, I think that from there they can start thinking of how to go darker. But I think for a while, I think for now, stay away from Vader. Let him, do the Kenobi series with him there. Wash your hands, clean it up, be done with it. Like, if he's gonna appear in Andor, let's just say, if he's gonna appear in Andor, fine. Let it be like a 2-second thing, like Rogue One. You see him for a split second, but I don't need more. Like, let him be this dark, ominous person that's just in the background. You see him there, and that's it. And or somebody's running away from him. Whatever the case may be. Eternal is that actually Theory? Yeah, guys, that's actually him. He's actually here. So. Again, it's like everybody's like, is that him? Is that him? Yeah, it is. But yeah, no. So I personally would not want them to touch Vader. Would you? Yeah, I think...
No, I completely agree. I talked about how I really enjoy how some of these, and it's not Star Wars. I enjoy these animation series that are coming out, and they're a lot darker. And they're not for kids, like Arcane and other wonderful series like that. I really love like detailed animation that isn't meant for children. Like, I feel like as adults, we deserve to have art and animation geared towards us, story driven and versatile and amazing. And I literally have nothing bad to say about those shows. I really enjoy them. So until Disney can reach that level of dark, gritty, all that stuff for adults, I don't think they should touch Vader or really anything Sith-ish that, shouldn't be touched until they can successfully do that and detach themselves from this family-friendly ideal that they've created over many, many decades. So that's my take on it. So I completely agree. as much as I wish it could come soon and I could watch it now, it's probably not going to happen. So as much as I talk about it, like, oh, I want it to be dark and nitty gritty, I don't think Disney can do that because they have this ingrained sense of family friendliness. As I said, Disney-fy. They Disney-fy almost everything.
Did you say Disney-fied? I just say Disney-fied.
Disney-fied.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one now. That's a new one now. I'm gonna have to do that one for you now because like everybody on the panel has like something that they've done or said in the past where we've caught them. Yours is Disney-fied, so I got you now. I got you. It's Disney-fied. No, that's but hilarious. I agree with you because again, you see it in the sequels, like, and even you know what's funny? They had said that like Robert Rodriguez had came out and said that Book of Boba Fett was going to be like this gritty show. And if you're still here, I'm sure you read up on that as well. Or whoever is here, I'm sure you guys have read up on it. But like he had came out and said that about Book of Boba Fett, and I'll be honest with you, the only thing that I thought was like dark was like Cad Bane when he came out, like. That was like the only dark that I really found. I was like, oh, damn. Like, shit just really hit the fan.
Yes. And knowing him from the Clone Wars, the animated series, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, that's Cad Bane. This is about to go down. Like, you know.
Yeah. And it's true.
It did. That's another death I'm unfortunate. I don't think he's dead. I hope he's not dead. But if he is, I'm sad.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is one of the things that's very confusing for a lot of people. So the Doros, which is his species, only lived till about 70 to 71. He was 70. So either way, he was gonna kind of go, I think. I mean, I'm not Star Wars, but because I looked up the lifespan of a Doro and it ended up being that it was 71 and he was 70. So
by his death, I did not mean Cad Bane's. I meant the sheriff.
Oh, you're talking about Cobb Vanth. Oh, you're talking about his death.
Yeah, I was a little upset about him dying. I liked him.
He's not dead. No, he's not. He got shot in the arm. That's why.
Yeah. As for Cad Bane, I wasn't super upset about that one. I am upset about the dialogue choice. Because Cad Bane does say that, you know, you've grown soft in your old age, and then Boba replies to him, "We all do," and I'm like, obviously, Cad Bane has not, and you have not gotten that yet. Because I tried to think back after hearing that, I was like, did Cad Bane go easy on him? Like, and I'm like, no, I don't think he did. So yeah, no, I didn't like that dialogue choice, but I'm being nitpicky. So yeah, I'll stop there.
No, you're good. Listen, I agree with you. Like, for Cobb Vanth, I don't know. You remember they put him in the back of the tank. He's gonna live. We'll see his ass again.
I hope so. Oh,
let me guess. Do you love him too?
No, actually, I just like him as a character. I think he's cool.
Oh, okay.
I have a soft spot for space westerns, so.
Okay, all right. Gotcha. All right, because I know everybody loves Cobb Vanth. They're like, oh my God.
No, he's not actually one of my obsessions.
Okay. All right, I got you.
All right, we're safe from that one.
Okay, cool. No, but I mean the one with Cad Bane, I didn't mind it. Again, it was whatever for me. I'll put it to you like this. I would like to see him at some point in time, because you know what I would want to see. I'm telling you, like, this is why I'm a little upset that Kenobi is only 6 or 7 episodes. I would love to see him in the Kenobi series because they had arcs together in the Clone Wars. So it's like, to see them together would be so. First of all, it'd be really. I would find it funny, and then I find it really, really interesting because I'd be like, okay, like this is like they're paying attention to what they're doing, like they really know. Because again, like to see the Grand Inquisitors like in the series, I think is cool. I don't mind it, but it leans more towards the comics with Vader. So like for Kenobi, I would have wanted to see things that were like from the Clone Wars into this. Like I didn't really care. Like don't get me wrong. Listen, I love the Grand Inquisitor. I love that, you know, Moses Ingram is going to play Reva. Fine. But I think I would have rather seen like Cad Bane and Quinlan Vos, who is rumored. Now that's another name thrown into the mix, who is rumored to supposedly be in freaking Kenobi as well. So who really knows? Let's read the comments here. Rickinson Inc. says, Cad Bane's not dead. The chest lights making clicking noises wasn't done for no reason. It is true though. I did get to see that when I went back, because a lot of people were saying that after that his chest like thing was still going off. So who knows about that one? Cobb Vanth was awesome. I don't think he is dead either, Rickstein. And yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'll put it to you like this: I have no idea.
I
But
mean, I got traumatized after they brought Palpatine back, so at this point, anything's up for grabs.
at this point, it is so true. And the funny thing is that too that we forget is that you know, is anybody really dead in Star Wars? Is anybody really dead?
I
Is it
mean, we're all part of the Force, so is anyone really dead?
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. Like, ooh, the big mystery, right? The big boogeyman or the big thing in the sky, or right and left, So I don't know. Look, I would. The one thing that did come out, I don't know if you got to see this one. Rosario Dawson ended up saying that she would love to have Cad Bane in her series in her
That
show.
sounds super fun,
I think
especially based off of the encounters, from
Clone
the Clone
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah.
So would love to see that. I love seeing all the live action aliens on screen. Like, I feel like going back to those practical effects is really freaking cool.
It is. I don't know. Let me
So
tell you how they did. I don't know how they did Cad Bane because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have been able to breathe in that suit. Like I would have, or not suit I would have been like
yeah, the
passed
mask
out.
that they had.
I would have been passed out. I would have
Oh,
been passed
for
out.
sure. Yeah. And I don't know where they were filming, but it couldn't have been comfortable in that heat. I'm assuming it was heat if they were actually filming in a location. So yeah, if they're on set, great, good for him. Air conditioning all around. But kudos to the actor if he was out on set or on location.
Don't they film in Vancouver? Like, I know a lot. I know like majority of the shows film in like Canada. So like that's what I think Mandalorian was filming in Canada. I think I have no idea.
Mean, you're probably right. They
see.
probably
I'll
got
tell
a sandy place out there somewhere.
She said sandy. Well, no, they're not using. Remember, they're not for the Mandalorian. They didn't use locations. They used that panoramic thing.
Oh yeah, they were using that. Okay, so they wouldn't. So they got air conditioning. He's fine. They're fine. That's hilarious. Yeah, no. Man, this is just like it tells you how far we've gone with
technology.
Not only like practical effects, but visual effects. Like I wouldn't even be able to tell if they weren't like actually outside. Like that's just insane.
I know it looks so good though. I'm like, damn,
it looks so good.
I'd be sweating my ass off in that freaking thing.
But some people were very upset with how he looked. Like there were some people who weren't happy about it. He wasn't blue enough, or his eyes weren't the right, or his face wasn't the right shape. And I'm like, they're turning a human into an alien. Like how? What more do you want from them?
Well, you know what it is. I look. I'm gonna be honest because they did get the Duros in like because remember we saw Duros in the OTs. They got them right. So I understand how like we can sit there and speculate and say like, okay, like they could have done a better job. Yes, they could have done a better job, but I mean like, look, it's an older Cad Bane. He's 70.
Mm-hmm.
How much? Like we don't know what they look like when they're 70. Well,
yeah, like maybe he lost some color. Like give him the benefit of the doubt. Like
he lost some color. I'm dead. Oh my gosh. Everything Star Wars. They aren't dead as long as their likeliness can be used in movies before their deaths. That is true. That is.
Yeah, that is a good point.
That is a very, very good point. But yeah, I mean, again, we don't really know if he's really dead. Again, we don't know how. Again, it could be the age thing. That's why, he looked a certain way. But I mean, the color, I could understand. The whole, this part here with the nose or fit, whatever you want to call that, I understand why people are saying like, okay, like they could have done a better job with that. But at the same time, too, we don't know what it was like to be under that. And if they had some sort of like respirator or whatever you want to call it, so that way he can breathe a little bit better and it was connected. Who knows? Because remember, like also too, like he has those two things to help him breathe. So he has that at all times. So, and he was also missing some stuff. Like he didn't have the rockets on his boots. Remember? Like,
yeah, he didn't have the rocket boots.
Yeah. I was kind of like, oh, come on.
Bad knees.
He had bad, bad knees, right? Just like Boba Fett with the jetpack. Yeah. It took him like what? We saw, I think what episode? It took him a while to fly in like episode, I think 3 or 4. I forgot which one it was, but that's like a whole nother thing. They did an incredible job. They did, look, yeah. I think it's just when it comes to things like that, like being critiqued and so like, pinpointing it. I think it's just, again, fans are just being fans, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong to sit there, have an opinion, Like that's
I
what we're here.
mean, yeah, Ahsoka was
Oh,
criticized
too.
highly for how she appeared in The Mandalorian.
That's her,
You know,
the
her
lacume.
montrals were not long enough for her age, and people were like, well, you know, maybe because of all the like harsh trauma she's been through out her life, like, you know, maybe they were shortened because, or they didn't grow as long because of that, like, you know, a stunt in growth, which is like, you know, maybe like a cop out real life reason why. But like, I mean, when you think about it, a lot of these aliens, especially like Twi'leks or the Togrutas, like, you know, they have these long head tails and stuff, and it's like, well, if you slice one of those off in like a fancy lightsaber move, like that would suck. Like, I mean, and coming from somebody who has like worn the headdress, like it is cumbersome, like it is wild, like I can't imagine. I mean, I guess if you grew up with it, it would be like way different, and you'd know how to move with it and stuff, but like I can see why from a standpoint, like from a stunt person's standpoint, why they wouldn't want it to be super long. But I also agree with the people that are like, oh, if they just had put like green, like if they had finished it off with like a green screen or whatever visual effect they could have done that, but it would have cost a lot.
Yo no sé. There was a force
There's
ghost
a
behind
person.
that.
Ghost in my house.
No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that was one of my things. Like when I first saw that, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's kind of heavy. I mean, you can't compare. Don't worry about it. Listen, my mother just walked by before. You're good. Don't even worry about it. Like, you're good. You're so good. I mean, I've had people here that work. I had a friend of mine who has been on this, and he works in the hospital. And like, we saw somebody getting open heart surgery on a live stream. And so, no, I'm totally.
I was like,
joking.
hold up. No.
Totally joking. No, but I definitely understood that. Like, and that's why, again, like I always say, it's like, it's nice to see people really get passionate about like these things, but we have to take into consideration too, being that person wearing that. Number one, it's probably hot. You don't know if that person is like I don't like tight spaces. I hate tight spaces. I hate heights. I hate it all. Okay. And I just did roller coasters when I was in Cali this last week. I don't like it. And I did it. So again, you know, these actors are doing a lot. We're asking them to do a lot of things, and we have to remember that at least, listen, I love Rosario Dawson, great actress, and the fact that she even took the role of Ahsoka, because again, it like she looked like her to the T. When I would see this like fan artwork, amazing, and looked like her, like I said, to the T. So when they brought her in, and he was like, "Oh, open heart surgery," you know, it was really nice to see that. So again, I give her credit. I'm totally happy with how they went about it, even with the way certain things look. Listen, at least we finally got Cad Bane in live action, because guess what? Absolutely. Now you can sit there and make, if you wanted to make a bounty hunter series, like let's say from after Revenge of the Sith, before up until A New Hope, you can say, okay, let's do a series on Cad Bane, on what he was doing, like post Revenge of the Sith, or even after the Bad Batch. That's another one, because the Bad Batch is still a thing, and we got to see him in the Bad Batch. So that'd be cool. That'd be interesting. I would love to see more of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but it's all there. Who again? I'm like, who? I sound like an owl. I'm like, who? I'm an owl. Call me an owl. But I think at this point we have covered everything, girl. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. I think we did it all. So I want to thank everybody who came onto this chat, who's been here talking to us, because I gotta say, girl, you held it down today. I appreciate you, because we didn't even have the whole fam here today.
Not bad for a newcomer.
Not bad at all. You killed it, girl. I am so happy again that you keep coming back. I appreciate it. You are much loved on this channel, and also by people in the comment section. Again, we appreciate you. Before we do hop off, can you tell everybody where to find you? And if you have anything upcoming, just let them know, so you have the spotlight.
Awesome. Well, hello guys. You know, once again, Evergreen Tree Cosplay here. My name is Laurel. You can find me on Instagram under Evergreen Tree Cosplay. And then I've got a website, you know, that kind of stuff. So just follow me on Instagram. Stay up to date with my most recent posts and my cause plans. So if you're interested in that, come check it out. I don't just do Star Wars. I do a ton of other stuff too. So definitely, if you're curious, come check it out.
Yep. And again, please follow her on Instagram. Do you have any other platforms that I don't know about?
I only run my cosplay on Instagram. It seems to have TikTok too, but that one's you get to see a lot of my construction processes on TikTok. So if you're interested in how I build my props and costumes, TikTok's probably the best place to go. So that's Mountain Laurel Tree. So on TikTok.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Please follow her on Instagram and TikTok for more cosplay, and doesn't just do Star Wars, does everything. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this awesome live stream. I mean, we got to have Rob from Everything Star Wars. Thank you so much for hopping on. We got to have Star Wars Theory. Can we clap that up? Thank you so much, Star Wars Theory, for hopping on by. Appreciate you, bro. Much respect, much love for you and what you've done for the community. If you're still here, and if you're not, again, still much love to you, bro. And thank you everybody for hopping on the comment section. It was nice talking to you all. Again, you guys are all the real ones. We appreciate you because again, you know, we only go as far as you take us. So again, thank you guys so much. May the force be with you. Stay safe. Have a great week. I will put a new video up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching right now. And again, guys, see you at this time next week. Wednesday, we will be doing another live stream as we do one every Wednesday. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Later, guys.